Well, good evening, and thanks for joining us here for Front Street Fights 36, a championship night here in the capital city. Thanks for joining us in Boise, Idaho. Joe Paris, Cameron Moore here with you, cage side, as we are counting down to a flyweight championship here at Front Street Fights. Cameron, we've got a lot to count down to, but our main event promises to be one special. Let's take a look at the fighters that will be headlining Front Street Fights 36. Mauro Gutierrez will step in to challenge for the flyweight title.
Thrilled to have Jordan back, our 125-pound champion. He's been a bit since he's been here. He's going to be taking on Mauro. This one's going to be fireworks. I cannot wait for this main event.
And the champion here at Front Street Fights in that flyweight title division, Jordan Burkholder, returns here after a great fight back against Sojan Miki. A lot of fans will remember his unbelievable wrestling ability. He'll take on Mauro Gutierrez, the striker here, as we'll have styles clash at Front Street Fights 36. Burkholder Gutierrez, our championship main event here tonight. The rest of the card, though, we are in for a treat. We will start down at the bottom here in the amateur portion of our card. Two MMA debuts here at 36. Brendan Rohrabacher and Seth Dempsey will start us off here tonight at the featherweight division. The local guy, he's got a lot of fans I saw filing into the building. Dominic Stoff at the lightweight division against Brandon Villalba. And then in the women's division, a lot of excitement. Charles Rush returns here to Front Street Fight. A big matchup in the flyweight division against Angelita Calpido. The pork pounder, Steven Steyerwalt from down the street at SBG, Idaho, will take on Dimitri Morales. And our co-main event, Raymond Lawley and Devin Jackson in the featherweight division. And again, our main event, Jordan Burkholder and Mauro Gutierrez. Cameron, we got a great card here tonight. Of course, Front Street Fights, we are counting down to all the action. But before we can get to the action, we do have to get inside the cage to meet the man with the mic, Mike Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Front Street Fights 36, presented by Project Filter. Tonight's fights are sanctioned by the Idaho State Athletic Commission with Commissioner Ryan Lanham. Referees are Mike Mickelson, Aaron Welling. Judges scoring the action are Tim Turner, Shannon Allison, and Jeff Martinez. Scorekeeper is Scott Marker, timekeeper Mike Stone. Put your hands together for our first fighter of the evening, out of the blue corner, Seth Dempsey.
Well, it's always a privilege here at Front Street Fights to be part of special moments. And there's a special moment that we get more frequently than other promotions, an MMA debut here at the amateur level. Coming down the aisle right now for his MMA debut, Seth Dempsey. Cameron, we debate over the years about this walk to your first appearance inside the cage, whether you're an amateur or a pro. Making this walk for the first time is a unique experience, and it's something you really can't prepare for. You just have to live in that moment.
You absolutely do. Add to that, you're the curtain jerker. You're the one kicking off the event tonight. So not only is it your debut, you're setting the tone for the rest of the night. I talked to Seth a little bit before his match. He's ready to go. He's calm. He's collected. I'm excited to see him make his debut tonight.
A little bit about Seth Dempsey, the 23-year-old, 5'6", 72.5-inch reach. He is from Star, Idaho, if you're not familiar with the Treasure Valley, here in our area of the Boise so-called metro area. Some folks would disagree calling it the metro area, but Star about 30 minutes on a good day. With traffic, could be an hour. It depends which direction you're headed, but a local guy that trains at Dark Horse BJJ. This is Seth Dempsey, his MMA debut. It's always exciting that we get to see the initial I guess, voyage, so to speak, into MMA for these amateurs. You look like a guy like Paddy Pimblett, for example, who had a great fight just last week at UFC. When I was looking at some of his first fights, almost unrecognizable. And you always wonder who these guys turn into be.
And Rohrabacher.
And Brendan Rohrabacher also making his MMA debut out of the red corner. The 26-year-old, 5'7", with the 68-inch reach. Both fighters, of course, making weight here tonight. From Boise, Idaho, this is Brendan Rohrabacher from Vita, our great organizer here, the promoter, the booker. She tells us that Brendan is from SBG, Idaho, and he is stepping into the cage here for the first time, competing against another great local fighter. Cameron, I'm excited. I love watching these debuts here.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Brendan Rohrabacher, his first MMA fight tonight, but this is not the first night I've seen him compete in combat sports. I've seen him compete in grappling. I've seen him compete a few times in boxing. This is just the first night he gets to put that together. He does have a bit of advantage, so to speak, in that performance inside of a cage, and I'm excited to see him let that translate into his MMA debut.
And the SBG Idaho team has a very, very good track record here at Front Street Fights. Their gym a short walk away over off of Americana here in Boise. And as we are introducing Brendan Rohrabacher to the MMA world, I also want to introduce the third man here at the table here tonight. Justin Jensen joins us. And Justin, you're going to help us out here with some insight here. I know you train at SBG. We're also taking a look at the rules here, the amateur rules. Justin, what are we looking at here?
Absolutely, Joe. We're looking at 3-minute rounds tonight. The judges afterwards will score the fight, and after totaling the score, we'll see if it's a decision, or if one of the fighters are lucky enough with all their training and hard work, we may see a TKO.
So the amateur rules here on your screen, presented to us by Pepsi. We'll update you on the pro rules as we get to that portion of the card. But let's bring it into the octagon now and officially meet the fighters.
This fight is brought to you by Jack Daniels and is scheduled for 3-minute rounds in the amateur division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, making his MMA debut, standing at 5 feet, 6 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds, fighting out of Star, Idaho, representing Dark Horse BJJ. Please welcome Seth Dempsey. His opponent, out of the red corner, making his MMA debut, standing 5 feet, 7 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds, fighting out of Boise, Idaho, representing Boise, Idaho. Please welcome Brendan Rohrabacher. Your referee for this fight is Mike Mickelson.
Just to imagine the thoughts going through both of these gentlemen's head right now as they're set to make their MMA debuts inside the cage. Dempsey and Rohrabacher, 3-minute rounds. We are ready to go. Thanks for joining us for Front Street Fights 36 on a hot summer night in the City of Trees. The action ready to heat up here inside the Idaho Central Arena. Thanks for joining us here on the Front Street Fights YouTube page, on the KTVB streaming site, as well as KTVB 7.3. As we're going right into it here, as Dempsey's wasting no time. He has Rohrabacher rattled. Dempsey looking for a quick finish here, and he hits him here with a huge right. Big punches coming down against the cage, and that'll do it. Seth Dempsey with the TKO. Not even 20 seconds into his debut, he rattled Rohrabacher right out of the gate and finished the job against the cage. Seth Dempsey making a statement here.
As soon as he caught him with that right hand, he stunned him. He knew that he had to plan a few more of those. He was calculated. He didn't rush him too much. He got a bit excited at the end, but I mean, every one of those right hands continued to land, and he did a wonderful job. For his first match, he finished it in the first minute of the first round.
Absolutely, and that's the big thing, is it's their first match, so they have everything to show. They come in swinging, they come in hot. We saw right off the back where Seth found his 4.5 inch reach advantage and just exploded out after hit and just did not stop that pressure.
The 23-year-old looked like he had concrete blocks for a fist as we take a look at essentially the entire fight here. You'll see that first right hand really rattled him in the combination left-right. Look at that left there. Brought Rohrabacher down to the canvas. And it is interesting. Rohrabacher was kind of grabbing an ankle there, but a TKO, I think, a fair stoppage here.
Absolutely. A bit of a desperation grab. Those hands were catching him. Very justified stoppage, and I think Brendan would agree.
So blink and you miss it here. This is one of the signatures here of Front Street Fights. The quick action of meeting all these new athletes here from the Treasure Valley, of course, out of Star, Idaho. Seth Dempsey, the 23-year-old. He's going to join the long list of fighters that looked very impressive in their debut here at Front Street Fights. Sky is the limit. We'll get into the cage now with Mike Thomas to get the official decision. And then, of course, tonight, Cameron Moore. He will have all the post-fight interviews, but let's get into Mike Thomas.
This fight has been called in just 16 seconds of round number 1 by TKO referee stoppage. Your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Seth Dempsey. Yeah.
Seth Dempsey, first fight, first minute, first round, first TKO. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great.
Fantastic. What did you see that made you pounce on him like that?
Honestly, when that first combo I threw, I landed, I saw it rocked him, and I just smelled blood in the water and just went after it.
Amazing job. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out?
I want to thank my family up here, my parents, my dad that got me into this since I was 5 years old, my lovely wife sitting down here, she loved my life, my beautiful bride, and all the friends and families and coworkers that came out to support me. I'd like to thank my gym, my coaches, my team, everything for helping me get here.
They did a tremendous job getting you prepared, and you delivered. Give it up for Seth Dempsey.
Well, congratulations to Seth Dempsey, and what a show he puts on in front of his family here. Front Street Fights 36, 1-0 for Dempsey.
I know, Joe, and let me tell you, that's the special thing about MMA here in Idaho. Great fighters, great matches, and overall, great sportsmanship. They started that match by touching gloves, and they ended that match checking on each other, make sure each fighter was all right. That's what's really great about this place.
And I know Brendan Rohrabacher will be back. For now, though, we will be right back. We're going to take a real quick break. Coming up, we've got a local favorite in Dominic Stoff in the lightweight 155 division just ahead.
Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
Whoa. How are you doing that?
I just started banking with ICCU.
ICCU.
Best banking experience of my life. Smart technology, great rates, benefits with my checking. Plus, it's just nice to talk to people who actually care.
And that made you able to lift a bazillion pounds?
You tell me. Hey, you got any more 45s back there?
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
Hey, grab me one too.
Well, nearly a 100-degree day here in Boise, Idaho. It is gorgeous, though, inside the Idaho Central Arena. Thanks for joining us here for Front Street Fights 36. If you're just joining us, we started the night with some real quick action. Seth Dempsey taking care of business with a TKO in about 20 seconds. That brings us to our second fight of the night, Dominic Stoff and Brandon Villalba. Let's get in to meet the fighters with Mike Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner, give it up for Brandon Villalba.
Villalba comes in tonight trying to get back into the winning ways. Cowboy from San Antonio, Texas, comes in tonight with a 1-2 record. Of note, Dominic Stoff's original opponent suffered an injury, so we appreciate Brandon coming up from San Antonio, Texas to make this fight happen.
And that's what I was saying, Joe. The Treasure Valley is just one of those places that gravitates everybody from the world to the nation to the locals. Brandon's traveling from over 1,600 miles away for this fight tonight, so we appreciate him coming out and filling in when we lost the previous fighter.
It really is interesting, Cameron, when we think about some of the fights we've called. I mean, from Hawaii, the Ukraine, Egypt, all the way down to Star, Idaho. It is very impressive, the matchmaker, Vida Ortega. She's got an eye for talent, and it is so cool to see everyone converge here at the Central Arena.
She's got an amazing network. She's, I mean, everybody knows Vida everywhere, like you said, and she can just reach fighters, replace fights, bring people in from all over the world, to your point. She does a tremendous job.
Well, we know that Villalba is a good submission fighter. His one win at ECF 51, a submission victory. He'll be taking on Dominic Stoff, who will walk down the aisle here momentarily, who is also a good submission fighter. So sometimes you talk about styles clash, sometimes you talk about styles that are the same and who is simply better at it. The 20-year-old, though, here, Villalba from San Antonio, Texas, 5'11", 73-inch reach, weighed in at 154.8 pounds. Let's get back to Mike Thomas to introduce us.
For the red corner, his opponent, Dominic Stoff.
Dominic Stoff coming off of a win at Front Street Fights 31. You remember that night, a great fight against Levi Nani. And we have seen here Dominic a few times, including his MMA debut against Pepe Rayo at Front Street Fights 28, a win. Comes in, though, with a 500 record, 2 wins, 2 losses. I remember his fight against Elliot Maccabee, and that was a fun night as well. But Dominic Stoff, we've seen him in real time over the last few years really develop his style, and you'll recognize the t-shirt. A lot of his fans around the arena here tonight, here to watch the local guy.
They have been waiting for quite a while for Dominic to be back. He was supposed to be on a card recently. His opponent couldn't make it. We had to scrap the match, but we are thrilled to have Dominic back, and the ovation speaks for the crowd here. They're equally thrilled to have Dominic back.
It's a good callback. You may remember the last time we saw Dominic Stoff inside the cage was for an interview, and he wasn't wearing his working boots that night. He was wearing his cowboy boots, so great to see him back in MMA attire, ready to compete here tonight. As always, a shout out to the Department of Professional Licensing here from the state of Idaho. We appreciate the work from the State Athletic Commission and all the organizers behind the scenes that make this possible. I'll speak for myself, Cameron and Justin, I'm sure you'll agree. We've got the best job in the house here tonight watching fights with all you folks here at home. But there's a lot of great work that goes on behind the scenes, from production to organization to tickets. Front Street Fights does not happen without a great staff, and we appreciate them. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape from Project Filter here. 24-year-old Dominic Stoff, 20-year-old Brandon Villalba. Pretty identical in the height and the weight. The reach, though, Dominic Stoff, he's got an advantage.
Absolutely, that 4-inch reach, people don't think it's a lot, but it can make the difference of whether or not you're fighting for your life to get in that pocket or you just move in and out smoothly. So we'll see how he takes advantage of it.
Let's get underway inside the cage.
This fight is brought to you by Blue Cross of Idaho and is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Front Street Fight Amateur Lightweight Division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 1 win and 2 defeats, standing at 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, representing TSFC. Please welcome Brandon Pavo Villalba. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner with a record of 2 wins and 2 defeats, standing at 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 154 pounds, fighting out of Boise, Idaho, representing the Pit Fight Team. Please welcome Dominic Stoff. Your referee for this fight is Aaron Welling.
You can feel the intensity here from cage side. That look in Dominic Stoff's eyes, it is familiar. They'll lock the cage. They'll set the clock for 3 minutes. We're ready to go here. Villalba and Stoff, Front Street Fights 36. Let's get underway.
Really interested in the striking battle here. Dominic Stoff comes with a Hawaiian Kempo background, whereas Brandon, he's actually competed in boxing a handful of times, and so he's more of a traditional striker. Very interesting matchup when we get these different stylistic strikers in here.
We know that both of these guys are willing to stand up, as you can see here in the opening moments here of this match, which has already gone farther than our opening match of the night. But as you can see, Stoff here, he's comfortable getting down to the mat and wrestling here. We know that the Pit is a well-rounded camp here. They're not just strikers, they're not just grapplers. They look to have complete fighters, as Stoff now is really trying to wrestle down Villalba.
Good adjustment with the heavy hips from Villalba. He had that underhook at one point. He's breaking the hands right now, doing a little hand fighting. I'd like to see him switch that left side to dig more of an underhook. He does have his hip facing out, which is a good start. We got to start to get to those underhooks in to separate.
Still in that same position there, finally almost rolling himself down there is Villalba, as Stoffel trying to get some control here on the top position here in round 1 of 3 rounds. 3 minutes here in our amateur division is Stoff now trying to get some leverage here up against the cage in front of us. Good job though by Villalba, just holding on here, trying to keep control. As you can see him almost trying to shift his weight to pull over Stoff.
Great takedown by Stoff. That was an excellent single leg. He just continued to hike that football until he got him down. That was great.
Sometimes it's a quick finish, as we saw in our opening contest. Now a little bit more of a war of attrition now, as the athletes here in those really close positions. And I know sometimes, you know, at home the fans are looking for the big finish, but to me, when we see moments like this, the hand fighting, the close combat, the inches, the millimeters sometimes, the differences it can make, it is so intricate.
Absolutely, and we saw at the beginning of the match here, they were just kind of feeling each other out. And now, like we were saying before, the submission is in tow, so we'll see which of the fighters' submission will take advantage of.
Stoff here has been in control as he pushes into the corner here, raining down some lefts here. He did get one good shot against the right side of the body a moment ago here, as he's got some good top control here, and he's got the rear naked choke here. It's hard to see if it's locked in all the way. I know it looks like it's underneath the chin, and he'll tap him out. Dominic Stoff, a round 1 victory against Brandon Villalba. As
Really,
old
really
school as it
transition.
goes, the rear naked choke.
Beautiful transition. He had Villalba thinking about the mount the entire time in those strikes. He wasn't really in a great position to strike until he pushed that face away and got some distance. At that point, Villalba's just thinking about blocking the strikes, and Dominic sneaks around the back, throws that hook in, and as soon as he had that arm around, that's the most important part of a rear naked choke, is that head trap. He got that arm around, and it was deep, and from there it was just open. Great transition.
So well worth the wait for Dominic Stoff as he returns here to winning fashion. Another win here at Front Street Fights 36 after his win at 31. We'll take a look though here as he finally, you can see here after the takedown up against the cage there, he did a good job getting that forearm, that whole arm underneath the chin, as they exchange pleasantries there at the end. As you touched on, Justin, We love the sportsmanship here at Front Street Fights for the most part.
Absolutely, that sportsmanship's what it's all about. After a fight, those two fighters coming back together and hugging it out, that's truly makes the night.
Excited to hear from Dominic Stoff as Cameron will step in there momentarily and interview him. Certainly a big lead up, but we'll get in here for the announcement momentarily with Mike Thomas. Finishing the official paperwork. Now Mike's ready to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight has been called at 2 minutes, 26 seconds of round number 1. By submission via rear naked choke, your winner, fighting out of the red corner, Dominic Stoff!
Thank you, seriously.
Dominic Stoff, first and foremost, I speak for everyone here, welcome back. It's been a bit. How are you feeling after a layoff, after having some fights canceled? You're back with us in the cage and you put on a beautiful display. How are you feeling?
Hey, I got something more important to say. Hey, happy birthday, Papa, I love you. Hey, happy birthday, guys. Smoke a cigarette for me. Yee!
Walk us through the end of that fight. You got the mount, looking for strikes, and then you sunk in the rear naked choke. Talk me through it.
Man, I just fell back on my training, that's all. I'm nothing without the team I have behind me. These guys are constantly pushing me every single day to get better. I had a couple fights fall through, but we did nothing but continue to work hard and just get better. I want to give a big shout out to my coach, Coach Cruz, and another really big one to my boy Colton LeBron for being one of my best training partners. I don't know where he's at, but love you, brother, and boss man.
Glad to have you back. Give it up for your winner, Dominic Stoff.
A really cool moment there that we caught. Dominic Stoff thanking Brandon Villalba for coming up and taking this fight. As Cameron touched on in the interview, Dominic's had some bad luck in terms of fights being called off or guys getting injured. The easy thing to do is always to cancel the fight and move on, but appreciate Vita and the team here finding an opponent for Dominic, and Brandon coming up on shorter notice to take on Dominic Stoff. So congratulations to Dominic. Happy birthday, Papa. We're going to take a break. Coming up, fan favorite Cheryl Rush back in action here at the Idaho Central Arena.
Did you get that?
There's no low with a natural high.
What he said. Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
Yowza, how'd you catch all these? I just started banking with ICCU. ICCU? You should join. I've got a branch around the corner, and with the mobile app, I can take ICCU wherever I go. I even had someone helping me on video chat at 6 p.m. on a Friday. Now that's service.
And so now every foul ball gets hit to you.
You tell me.
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
Hey, grab me one too.
Well, beautiful night in the capital city, Boise, Idaho. That's a look of our great city here in downtown. If you're watching from outside Idaho, stop by sometime in the Treasure Valley and visit us. We got a great city to be in and great fights to watch here at the Idaho Central Arena. Without further ado, the man with the mic, Mike Thomas, will get us into some flyweight action.
Fighting out of the blue corner, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Angelina Calpito.
Angelina Calpito coming all the way from Hawaii, from the Prodigy Training Center for a big matchup here tonight. She comes into the fight 2-0 here in the flyweight division. The 20-year-old just getting started. Her last time out, a TKO at X1 World Event 67. We are so excited to have Angelina Calpito here with us here tonight. Cameron, we were just talking about this a few minutes ago. The national, the international vibes, the different feels we get from fighters in different backgrounds. Always exciting to have a new face here in Front Street Fights taking on a fan favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Thrilled to have her here. She comes with a really strong style. She's a national champ in pankration fighting. Pankration's, I mean, it's the predecessor to MMA, been around for centuries. And for her to have a national championship, and I believe even a junior national championship, she's a tremendous athlete. Thrilled to have her here. And like you said, bringing some of that Hawaiian flavor.
And Calpito is tough. If there's one thing you want to know about Angelina Calpito, she is a tough person, and she stands to have a tough challenge against Cheryl Rush. She comes to us here tonight from Mililani, Hawaii, which is a very, very beautiful area. Of course, all of the islands, all of Hawaii is, but we're doing some research. It is a very different climate than Boise, Idaho. But great to have Angelina here with us. 5'5", 66-inch reach. Of course, both fighters making the flyweight weigh-in here tonight. Her opponent, Cheryl Rush, has just a very different, I guess, mindset coming into this. Of course, both fighters want to come in here and win. But Cheryl Rush, she's going to come in at 3-1. She's got 4 fights in her career. Angelina, 2 fights. As we mentioned, Angelina, the 20-year-old, will be taking on the 41-year-old. So I think something to watch here, Cameron, is how much does experience matter here tonight?
Please welcome Charles Rush.
So the last time we saw Cheryl was against Chloe Becker. That's over at Revolution Cage Combat 5, a submission win. That was immediately following her TKO of Jessica Knight here at Front Street Fights 28. As I'm sure you can hear through my microphone, a lot of hometown fans here to see Cheryl fight.
Absolutely, definitely a hometown favorite. Really, really excited to have her back. She always puts on a show. Always looks to finish the fight. She's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. She's really been working her wrestling quite a bit, so see if she takes it to the ground. But if she's on her feet, in her spare time, she's a Latin dancer. She can move her feet.
And she's got a great training regimen at SBG Idaho, a familiar face there as she gets ready to enter the cage. As we saw her warming up earlier, Cameron, it was interesting to see the way that she was kind of measuring the cage. You know, when you come into the cage here on fight night, it's always a little bit different than the cage that you have in practice. So I appreciated the way that she was kind of scoping out the feel of what the canvas looked like. Some fighters like to just stick back and hit some pads in the locker room. She was out here kind of mapping out visually what I imagine she wants to do here tonight, which I always find interesting, the different preparation that fighters have.
Well, the terrain of your fight makes such a difference, whether it's in a ring or on a mat or on a cage, against a wall. All of those things play such a factor. You got to know where you are in space.
Love you guys.
And a great shout out there from Charles.
Like you were touching on, the fighters are just so regimented about their routines, and they get so into it of just day in, day out, that it becomes muscle memory. So checking in on that cage beforehand can help them develop their strategies to see if their muscle memory is going to be good and on their routine, or maybe they need to mix things up a little bit.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, get a little bit of a comparison here between our athletes. Thank you so much to Miller Lite for the tail of the tape here as we look at that reach advantage. Very slight for Angelina Calpito. Weight advantage, of course, very slight for Charles. And then, you know, basically a carbon copy except for the age. And again, you don't want to make too much of a number on paper, especially with high-profile athletes like this. But it will be interesting to see how experience or lack of experience could play into this. However, Angelina Calpito, for a 20-year-old, she is fully in charge inside the cage. Should not have any hesitations at all.
By St. Luke's, it is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Front Street Fight flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 2 wins and 0 defeats, standing at 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds, fighting out of Mililani, Hawaii, representing Prodigy Training Center, please welcome Angelina Calpito. Her opponent, fighting out of the red corner with a record of 3 wins and 1 defeat, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 125.5 pounds, fighting out of Boise, Idaho, representing SBG Idaho. Please welcome Charles Rush. Your referee for this fight is Mike Mickelson.
You're tuned into Front Street Fights 36. Thank you so much for joining us. I see folks here on YouTube watching from Hawaii tonight. They say, let's go Angie. Of course, you heard the folks here in Boise, a lot of the SPG Idaho folks here to cheer on Charles Rush. As they will lock the cage. They're ready to roll.
Talk about an anticipated fight. Everyone here at home, everyone out there on the stream, both sides ready to rock.
Oh, we love this. This is what it's all about, Friday Night Fights here. Thank you so much for joining us as we are underway. 3 3-minute rounds. This fight brought to us by St. Luke's Health. We appreciate all the work they do here at Front Street Fights and in our community.
Really quick strikes from Angelina. Very, very sharp, very quick.
And some good kicks there, too, trying to create some space. It's a flurry of kicks there, sneaking in some shots as well. Lots of punches here as Rush is trying to take a defensive position against the cage. Finally, the hurricane of fists stops as Rush is able to control here and slow things down.
You can tell Angela's working on trying to keep that pressure up while the submission's trying to slow her down just barely. She wants to see if she can get that pressure back moving.
Great display, too. She kept her right distance. She didn't crowd it too much. She didn't get too far away. She just let those hands fly. They had her hips behind every single punch. Really good job. Charles needs to close distance or circle out to the center of the cage.
And Calpito with some great strikes up top.
Excellent use of space. As soon as she got out of that submission, back to the flurry of blows. That's what you like to see.
And Calpito does a good job, too, of getting some kicks in as well. I mean, it's just almost nonstop fists, but just the way that she's also to take some shots to the body intermittently as well, taking a toll here on Rush. As she's taken a pretty heavy shot there to the face. A huge shot to the midsection, and that'll do it. Calpito with a TKO, a heavy shot to the abdomen. Some fist raining down as the official will call this one. Calpito the victory here in round 1.
Really intentional and intelligent cage work by Calpito. When you've got somebody pinned against the cage, you know they're going to try to do a tight circle one way or another. And when they do, you want to have something for them to run into. She threw that kick. She knew Charles was getting to the outside, ran right into it. That was excellent.
She had amazing pressure, amazing control that entire fight. Even while she was in the submission, you could tell that she was right where she wanted to be. She had.
Let's take a look at that flurry from Calpito, really right out of the gate, setting the tone for this round 1 victory. And in a moment here, I could hear it through the headset in real time. The shot to the midsection here on the kick, I believe it was a right foot. Yeah, oof. Heavy shot to the abdomen. It makes you wonder if she knocked the wind out of her, but it gets the job done there, Cam.
Yeah, absolutely. Just tremendous job again. Well timed, well placed. She had a plan. The hands, they were moving quick. Don't know if they had quite the power she was hoping for, so she threw that kick to the outside. And just excellent. Really, really, really good combination by Angelina.
Some Calpito will move to 3-0 in her young MMA career. A TKO there, I think we'll give it to her for the shot to the midsection there. Of course, the stoppage after Rush went to the ground there with some fists, but very convincing victory there for Angelina Calpito. Would love to see her back here at Front Street Fights. I mean, just that shot again to the midsection, Justin, you could just hear that impact.
Absolutely, just being right here by the cage, we could hear it, and it hit the sweet spot, took her right out.
Let's get into Mike Thomas for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight has been called at 1 minute, 17 seconds of round number 1. By TKO, your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Angelina Calpito.
Angelina, excellent job. Give us your thoughts on your fight tonight.
I was really excited ever since I left Hawaii and got here. And I tried to calm myself down, but I was able to get the finish in the first round, just like I planned.
Wonderful job. How was your experience in Boise and here with us at Front Street Fights been?
It was amazing, and I'm so thankful to Vita, Front Street Fights, and the whole commission. Thank you so much for making this possible for me.
We're thankful to have you. Who do you want to thank, or who do you want to shout out?
I want to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and I want to thank my team, Prodigy Training Center back in Hawaii, my coaches, my family, and special thanks to my friends and my brother Justin Calpito. I love you so much. I know you're watching, and I miss you.
Tremendous job. We hope to have you back. Give it up for Angelina Calpito.
Well, congratulations to Angelina Calpito. Of course, the flight back to Hawaii always feels a little bit better coming off of a win. Okay, I want to set the stage here because we got some major action coming to your screen. Of course, we will get to the professional portion of our card after a brief intermission, counting down to our main event, the flyweight title fight between Jordan Burkholder and Mauro Gutierrez. Coming up here in a moment, we're going to have a exciting explainer coming up from Cameron and Vita about our main event. And then coming up shortly, Miesha Tate, the UFC and MMA legend, joins us live here on the broadcast. Let's get into the octagon, excuse me, the cage real quickly with Mike Thomas.
Focused in training camp, and what were you looking to improve on in this fight?
Man, I was really excited to just come out and put on a show, you know what I mean? You guys all know I'm a striker, but I love to mix it up, you know what I mean? True sport of MMA. Really, I just wanted to put on a show and just entertain the people.
Agreed, and we're sorry that we don't get to see that happen. What's next for you?
Honestly, just get back in the gym and train. I'm looking for the next opportunity, so if there's any 170s out there who don't come out and fight, just let me know.
170s, you've been put on notice. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
I would like to give a shout out to my gym, Prodigy Training Center. My shop, Battle Ready Fight Shop. Let me know if you need any custom gear, custom fight shorts, custom gloves. I make it. Let me know. Battle Ready Fight Shop.
You heard it here, everybody. We hope to see you back in the cage soon, my man. One more time, let's hear it for Kervon Battles!
Kervon Battle, unfortunately his fight didn't happen as scheduled here tonight. A teammate, though, by the way, with Angelina Calpito, but we'll hopefully have him back here soon. Real quickly, though, I'm glad that we had Kervon in there. Again, we'll have the professional portion of our card coming up. Cameron and Vita will have a rundown on what to look at in our main event. And, of course, we're looking forward to MMA legend, UFC legend, Miesha Tate joining us here live for an interview. We will have that and more coming up after a quick break.
Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
Hey, grab me one too.
Criminy! Your plants, how'd you get them to grow like this?
I started banking with ICCU.
ICCU?
Yeah, I should have switched a long time ago. Credit union with service and technology like theirs is just better. I can do everything in the app and talk to an actual human being on video chat.
Hi.
And that made your plants grow like crazy?
You tell me.
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
80 years. That's a lot of stories. Stories of first steps and first checkups. Of an Idaho invention that opened up new terrain. Of fishtails and dad jokes. Of frozen potatoes. As Idaho's first health insurer, Blue Cross of Idaho was there for you then. We're here for you now, and we'll be there for every story to come.
Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
I'm Cameron Moore here, joined by Vita Ortega, our matchmaker for Front Street Fights. We're going to be breaking down the pro card for Front Street Fights 36, happening on July 17th. We got 4 fights on the pro card, starting with Steven Starwalt versus Dimitri Morales, followed by Thomas Solorio versus Kervon Battle. Our co-main is Raymond Lawley versus Devon Jackson, and our main event is a title bout in the flyweight division with title holder Jordan Burkholder taking on Mauro Gutierrez. I want to talk about these fights in depth here. Starting off with the first fight on our pro card, a bantamweight fight between local favorite Steven Starwalt taking on Dimitri Morales. Steven Starwalt is a staple of Front Street Fights. This is his 7th fight at Front Street Fights. He's currently 6-1 with us at Front Street Fights. His very first fight with us was at Front Street Fights 4, and here we are heading into 36. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt, and his last 2 fights at Front Street Fights finished by pretty significant striking stoppages. He's going to be taking on incoming Dimitri Morales out of Lewiston, Idaho, whose every fight he's had, he's finished. He's never gone the distance, and he comes from a really strong mixed martial arts academy that really focuses in karate and jiu-jitsu. How did this fight come together, and what can you tell us about Dimitri coming in?
Well, Dimitri seems like a well-rounded athlete. This is his first appearance on Front Street Fights, so I'm excited to work with him. Austin Arnett, we have worked with him in his gym in the past, and he asked if there was a opening, and Steven was ready to go back in, and it's like, well, this is the perfect match. It aligned very well. Steven is very excited to get back into the cage. His last fight, he feels like he has unfinished business here in Boise, Idaho. He's a crowd favorite.
Absolutely, yeah. Last fight didn't go his way, and as you said, unfinished business. Excited to have him back. Our co-main event is a featherweight bout between local favorite Raymond Lawley. He's been with us many times. This is his 5th appearance at Front Street Fights. He's going to be taking on incoming fighter Devon Jackson. What can you tell us about this fight? What makes this exciting?
Well, I'm excited to have Raymond back on the card. He's a crowd favorite. And Mr. Jackson, he was up for the challenge. He likes to fight in people's, like when he's the underdog. He's flat out said that. He's like, oh, I'll take it. I'll take that challenge. So respect to him.
Looking to shock the Boise crowd here. Devon's won by everything, so he's prepared to go pretty much anywhere this fight takes him. Our main event is the title bout in the flyweight division. We got returning title holder Jordan Burkholder taking on Mauro Gutierrez. Been a bit since Jordan's been with us, but he is our returning flyweight champ. And we got Mauro Gutierrez coming in to take him on out of Logan, Utah. Geographically, Mauro might even be sort of the hometown guy, being so close to us, but Jordan, our title holder, he's coached by Aaron Pico and Greg Jackson. He's got a phenomenal camp down there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. How did this fight come together? How'd you get Mauro to take on our title holder in Jordan?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't want this fight to happen because on a personal level, they are both such good people. I was like, let's see if we can work around this. And it just lined up. It just made sense. And I want to give people opportunities where I can. And Mauro wanted this challenge. And Jordan, it was time for him to defend his belt. I want to make sure that if you're a title holder at Front Street Fights, you are being an active champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Just thrilled to have them back. With this being a 5-round fight, both of these guys can go the distance. Jordan was a college wrestler, and Mauro, he can go the distance. He's been in wars quite a bit. He's durable. He's very durable. He's gone the distance quite a bit. We've got an incredible night of pro fights coming up next. 4 really, really strong bouts. Really excited for this match. You couldn't have put together a better fight card here. For Front Street Fights, I'm Cameron Moore here with Vita Arteaga. Thanks for sticking around. Front Street Fights 36.
Did you get that?
There's no low with a natural high.
What he said. Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
Yowza, how'd you catch all these? I just started banking with ICCU. ICCU? You should join. I've got a branch around the corner, and with the mobile app, I can take ICCU wherever I go. I even had someone helping me on video chat at 6 p.m. on a Friday. Now that's service.
And so now every foul ball gets hit to you.
You tell me.
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
80 years. That's a lot of stories. Stories of first steps and first checkups. Of an Idaho invention that opened up new terrain. Of fishtails and dad jokes. Of frozen potatoes. As Idaho's first health insurer, Blue Cross of Idaho was there for you then. We're here for you now, and we'll be there for every story to come.
Hey, grab me one too.
My name's Fisher, and my natural high is mountain biking.
A natural high is an activity you do that makes you happy as an alternative to drug use.
The activity is often someone's passion, their favorite thing to do.
It is important that we stay away from drugs, and one of the best ways to do that is to
find your natural high. This October, we celebrate Red Ribbon Week from the 23rd to the 31st. Red Ribbon Week focuses on the whys of avoiding drug use, and finding your natural high is an important factor of keeping your mental health up.
There's no low with a natural high.
All right, well, thanks for joining us here at Front Street Fights 36. We have a very special guest joining us here right now. It is truly a privilege and an honor to have MMA legend, UFC legend, Miesha Tate here with us. Miesha, thank you so much for joining us here. What brings you here to Boise, Idaho?
I love Boise. I'm from the Pacific Northwest originally, and my husband graduated from BSU with a wrestling scholarship. So we just feel like this is a great place to raise a family. So we're actually transitioning here to Boise. Not full-time yet, but I love it. I love the people. I love that things still operate on a handshake a lot of times, you know, the country folk that's kind of here. I love it. I love it.
Well, it's great to have a familiar face. It's so surreal, I think, for Cameron and I, watching you, following your career, now having you here cage side. I saw you sitting with Vita across the cage. What are your impressions so far on the amateur portion of our card?
So good. I got to watch the female fight that just was up, and I was like, man, you know, I was like, the girl, I was like, you got to move. But it was great. It was a great finish. This is an amazing event. Vita has been so good. I love what she's doing for the card, and it's just a great, this is what I grew up with, right? These are the cards that I started on. So every time that I come out to an event like this, it brings me right back to my roots.
When you're sitting cage side, I mean, as someone who's been at the highest of highest levels, for you watching someone in a debut, what's the feeling like for you? Do you reflect on your first fight, or are you locked in?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I still very much remember what it felt like my first time stepping into the octagon in the cage. And there's so much you don't know. And I think that is the hardest part about being an amateur is like, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what this other person's going to do. You like, the more seasoned you get, the kind of more you can expect. Like there is a category, and there's a way that people will show up. And when you're in an amateur fight, I mean, I think that's what's so exciting about watching amateur fights. It's like opening a box of chocolates. You honestly have no idea what these fighters are going to come out with, and it's a lot of fun.
I know one thing we always like to ask the guest fighters who are out of town or guests like you is, what was it about Boise that drew you here? What is it about this area that so many people love to call home that has brought you here now?
It's just a beautiful place. I think that being back in the Pacific Northwest feels right. I'm closer to my family. I feel like there's more to do with my kids. Like we just went to what was it, the Rapids, the water park?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it was
the
great.
Whitewater Park, yeah.
Yes, and we floated the river, and I was like, there's so much to do outside. There's so much to do with your family. It's just a great place. Generally, people are really nice when we're driving around, too. That's my experience, because, you know, I'm from Vegas and/or Seattle. People are not as nice as they are here.
Oh, the Seattle Freeze. Oh, yeah.
So I will say, you know, it's just a good experience. And we had some chocolates today and great sandwiches, great food. It's just good all around.
One thing I'm curious about for you, as you kind of touched on, these beginning of career fights. I mean,
Yes.
how important here, regionally, of course, you from Washington, how important are promotions like Front Street Fights in terms of developing fighters for, I guess, the future? I mean, the goal for so many is to get to the UFC and be on that big pay-per-view, but it all starts here.
It all starts here. This is where the foundation is. This is the roots of the tree that's going to hold up that foundation as these fighters grow and elevate and really look to become the superstars in the making. And, you know, every once in a while, you'll really see a fighter or an athlete or a fight that stands out, and you're like, sometimes they lose, and you're like, you know, I feel compelled to give them that message that I lost my very first amateur fight. I've never been an undefeated fighter, and I just think that there's so much in the losses. That's what really has made me the fighter that I am, is having to get through the hardest moments, the lowest points. And these fighters, they put so much into this, months and months of training and dieting and sacrifice and everything that goes into being an athlete. And, you know, when it's a small show like this, it's still so big and impactful and important to their career. So I think that these shows, they're essential. Like they are the opportunity to become great. And you will see a lot of the greats coming from these kinds of promotions.
And I know, like, a stepping stone to this is something that, Cameron, I know you've researched a lot and we've followed, is the high school wrestling scene here in the Treasure Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. Women's wrestling is the #1 most exploding sport in high school right now. You've got a background in high school wrestling. You mentioned your husband trained here at BSU Wrestling. What would you say to the young women who are maybe considering wrestling as an avenue for their sporting?
I say, why not? I say, go for it. Honestly, women's wrestling, it's exploding. And I was doing it before it was cool. And it gave me so much perspective in my life. I think understanding and knowing that I can do hard things is such a valuable skill set. And for any woman to feel confident, more confident walking to her car, you know, more confident in life, and being able to deal with that kind of pressure in a high pressure problem solving. That's what sport will teach you, but especially contact sport, high pressure problem solving. So there will never be a situation in your life where you just don't know what to do, because when you've been on the wrestling mat or when you've been inside of the cage, you have had to problem solve at the highest level under the most pressure, and that's such a valuable life skill set. So I've had that come into play many, many times, and it had nothing to do with the sport, and it was just invaluable.
Amazing what wrestling teaches you. Now, you're one of the most important pioneers in women's MMA. When you look back at your time in MMA, what do you think of the state of the women's MMA right now and how far it's come?
Women's MMA has exploded, and it's really exciting to see. Again, I was doing it before it was cool, before there was in the UFC, before there was a future for women's MMA. I just did it because I was passionate about it. But I know that everybody that steps inside the octagon, even now that there is a path for women to get to the UFC, you know, you still have to do this because you're passionate about it, because there's just way too much sacrifice. There's way too much that goes in, so much stake in the game. So I feel like that opportunity here, that's why these fighters show up in the way that they do. And that's why with the amateurs, you never know what you're going to get, because they are trying to make their mark. They are trying to be noticed, and they want to continue to grow and develop.
You mentioned your move to Boise. You've been gracious enough to talk to us about our project. What projects are you working on that you can tell us about?
Oh, well, I'm glad that you asked. Since I'm moving to Boise, I am starting a micro school off Victory and 5 Mile, which is going to be a learner-driven school. And I'm just so excited as a mother of a 6- and an 8-year-old. This is my dream come true. We're going to offer a real opportunity for kids to move their bodies. So with intentional movement, we're going to offer wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And these kids are going to learn things like critical thinking and problem solving and how to shake your hand and look you in the eye, and the things that I feel like, not to knock public school, I know there's a lot of great people who are trying to do good things, but I don't think that it was built for individuality. It wasn't built for the entrepreneurial mind. It wasn't built for young leaders to flourish in the way that I know that they're capable of. So as a mother first, I wanted to bring this here to Boise to just give an opportunity to those families that said, you know what, I want something out of the box for my kids, and I want them to be able to excel in their own unique individual way. And that's what we're bringing. So I'm so excited. It's Apogee Boise. And yes, thank you for asking.
We're thrilled to have it. I've seen you give some of these skills to kids at some recent seminars here in Boise. I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Really appreciate you spending time with us. Joe?
Yeah, I mean, MMA and UFC legend Miesha Tate. It was so crazy when they said, oh, by the way, we're going to have a guest stop by. It's Miesha Tate. I thought, is there 2 Miesha Tates? Like, there's no way. But we really appreciate having you here, a familiar face. We hope to have you back here soon. As Cameron highlighted, we have a lot of action to get to here tonight. Of course, our main event, a championship fight. We'll have to pick your brain after that one. For now, though, we are going to take a real quick break. When we come back, though, we will get on to the professional portion of Front Street Fights 36, live here from Boise, Idaho.
Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
Whoa. How are you doing that?
I just started banking with ICCU.
ICCU?
Best banking experience of my life. Smart technology, great rates, benefits with my checking. Plus, it's just nice to talk to people who actually care.
And that made you able to lift a bazillion pounds?
You tell me. Hey, you got any more 45s back
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
Hey, grab me one too.
That's a lot of stories. Stories of first steps and first checkups. Of an Idaho invention that opened up new terrain. Of fishtails and dad jokes. Of frozen potatoes As Idaho's first health insurer, Blue Cross of Idaho was there for you then. We're here for you now, and we'll be there for every story to come.
This is my natural high. Training is how I get my adrenaline. Running is how I get my dopamine. I am a competitor. And this is my natural high.
Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
Well, it is a championship night here in the capital city. You're looking live at the Idaho Central Arena for Front Street Fights 36, live from Boise, Idaho. We are counting down to our main event for the Flyweight Championship here of the Front Street Fights promotion. Joe Paris, Cameron Moore here with you tonight. Cameron, of course, we just spoke with MMA and UFC legend Miesha Tate, setting the stage for a big night here at Front Street Fights. And let's take a look at our main event. Two big-time fighters with their eye on the prize, Mauro Gutierrez and Jordan Burkholder.
Thrilled to have Jordan back, our title holder, our flyweight champion. He's back to take on Mauro Gutierrez. Mauro Gutierrez, he's coming to make a statement. He's been doing some pro boxing. He's been doing some grappling. He's been fighting all over the place. He's here to make a statement and take that belt from our title holder, Jordan Burkholder.
It's as simple as styles clash. As we saw the striking from Gutierrez, how about the wrestling from Jordan Burkholder as he beat Shogen Miki for the flyweight championship? Oh, I guess not too long ago now. It seems like it's been forever, but a number of shows ago, as Jordan Burkholder, 6-4 in the building. He is ready to roll to defend his title. Of course, we've got two other great professional fights here. We'll kick off here in a few minutes with Steven Steyerwalt returning to Front Street Fights. He'll take on Dimitri Morales. And then in our co-main event at the featherweight division, Raymond Lally, who's got a lot of excited fans in the building, will take on Devin Jackson. And again, counting down to that championship between Jordan Burkholder and Mauro Gutierrez. This is exciting. We are going to get things started here. Let's get it in to Mike Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin tonight's pro card, we would like to honor a member of the fight community. Earlier this month, Jordan Harps taken along the Boise Greenbelt in a horrible incident. Jordan loved being a part of the fight community. He embraced the respect, discipline, and competition shown here. Please join us in a moment of silence honoring Jordan Harpst. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our national anthem with none other than Bree Prestwich. Please rise and remove your caps now to honor America. Please join us in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Always an inspiring performance of our national anthem. We love that. Thank you so much, Bree. Hey, let's get to the professional rules here for the professional portion of the card presented by Pepsi. Justin Jensen joins us at the table here tonight. Justin, real quickly, run us through some professional rules.
Absolutely, Joe. Well, unlike those amateur rounds, these rounds are 5 minutes long. The judges will then score the fight. The fighters must remember no elbow strikes are allowed. Knee strikes to the head are allowed. Point scoring is effective striking, grappling, aggression, and control duration.
That is our rules for the next 3 fights presented by Pepsi. And without further ado, Mike Thomas will get us started.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get it going all over again. Fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Dimitri Morales.
As the crowd is filing in for our first professional bout of the night, let's meet Dimitri Morales. He comes in undefeated, 5-0 in his professional MMA career, fighting out of Lewiston, Idaho. As you can see here on his score sheet, he has a lot of tools in the bag, beating Rob Magruder by TKO in his last time out, but he is a submission fighter. He's got the striking. And Cameron, I know up in Lewiston, Idaho, where his hometown is, fighting at Arnett's Martial Arts Academy, the America Fight Camp there. They have a lot of great athletes that have come out of that camp.
Arnett's Academy is incredible. He's tremendous coaching, tremendous team. They do a wonderful job. Dimitri Morales, 5 wins, 5 finishes. This guy's, if he looks young, it's because he's been fighting since he was 13 years old. You may have seen his highlight reel head kick knockout floating around the internet a few years back. I'm excited to get him down here.
Only 20 years old. Again, out of Lewiston, Idaho, making the drive south down to the capital city. We have seen so many great fighters come out of Lewiston. Of course, a lot of us familiar with Marky Mark. I wonder if he's tuned in tonight or possibly he's here in the building. This is going to be a really great test. The 22-year-old will take on Steven Steyerwalt, who we'll see here momentarily. Just very different roads here to this cage, and that's what this sport is all about, is once you're locked in there, it's great.
North Idaho versus South Idaho. The Battle of the Idahoans, we'll have to see how it turns out.
That's right. North Idaho, not Northern Idaho.
Fighting out of the red corner, Steven Steigerwald.
Well, pound for pound, no pun intended, maybe the best nickname in the game. They call him the Pork Pounder, Steven Steigerwald. He is a mainstay here at Front Street Fights. He's coming off of a TKO loss to Enzo Perez back at Front Street Fights 33. You can see for yourself, though, previously he had been on a tear here at Front Street Fights against David Almayo and Thomas Prestige. Steigerwald coming out to middle-class rut here tonight, busy being born. A different track than he's walked out to previously, trying to set the tone here on Friday night.
I talked to Steven after his last fight. That last fight was a TKO. He got hit in the eye. It is what it is. That's how these things go sometimes. But I know he's anxious to get back in and get that win back.
And Steven Steigerwald out of SBG, Idaho, a great fight camp there and a unique perspective for you, Justin. When you were training at SBG, you were a sparring partner for Steigerwald. What can you tell us about that experience?
Absolutely. Short-term, Joe, terrifying.
Yeah.
You get in the ring with Steven, and sometimes you'll just watch a little switch flip in his eyes. And let me tell you, when that switch flipped, I blinked and he was behind me and I took a liver shot. So that speed, that power, it's all there. And well, we'll see what we see tonight from him, but I'm looking forward to it.
And it is a fight family for Steigerwald. Him and his wife both have fought here at Front Street Fights. They trained together at SBG. His whole life is fighting, and he loves it. The noticeable team there, of course, from SBG Idaho. Hey, let's take a look at the tail of the tape here tonight to see how these fighters compare. Steven Steigerwald, Dimitri Morales, tail of the tape, presented by Miller Lite, the 32-year-old, 5'8", 136 pounds, the 70-inch reach. Virtually the same from across the cage for Morales. You'll see the big difference there is the age. We talked about it earlier tonight. It'll be interesting to see if there's a difference between experience and just that raw youth athletic ability. Fighters, athletes, they will tell you, Father Time is undefeated. There are simply things you can do at age 22 that your body, it wears down over time. Well, let's get in for the official introductions for our first professional fight of the night here for Front Street Fights 36.
This fight is brought to you by Twin Peaks and is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the Front Street Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 5 wins, 0 defeats. Standing at 5 feet, 9 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds, fighting out of Lewiston, Idaho, representing Arnett's Martial Arts America. Please welcome Dimitri Mowgli Morales. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner with a record of 6 wins and 7 defeats, standing at 5 feet, 8 inches tall, weighing in at 136 pounds, fighting out of Boise, Idaho, representing SBG Idaho. Please welcome Steven the Pork Pounder Steigerwald. Your referee for this fight is Aaron Welling.
Well, we are set to go here for our professional fights here at Front Street Fights 36. Thanks for joining us on the Front Street Fights YouTube page, KTVB streaming, as well as KTVB 7.3 over the air. We are ready to go. Morales and Steigerwald. And Cam, one thing that I've noticed, of course, about Morales, he finishes fights. Every fight he's been in, he is taking care of it.
5 for 5. We'll see if he can make it 6.
Both these fighters right now just really trying to feel each other out. This is the testing phase. Steven just putting on a little bit of pressure.
Good separation there created by Steigerwald with the big right fist. I already love the matchups here, Cameron. This is good. sometimes when you get in there, you're talking about fight chemistry. Some pairings just have it.
Dimitri's doing a really good job mixing up the high shots and the low shots. He's throwing the low leg kicks. He's going back to the head, mixing that very well. Steven was wary of it that time and threw a counter hook. It was great.
Some offense there from Steyerwalt again from SBG Idaho. Huge shot there. He'll wear it on the chin as Steyerwalt, as Morales will continue to march forward. Ankle grab there, and Steyerwalt will pounce into the corner, trying to get some shots in. Morales does a good job, though, to get the hands up. They didn't get through cleanly. Steyerwalt, though, will take the driver's seat here against the cage as we are in round 1 of 3. The 5-minute rounds now that we've graduated on to the professional portion of the card, as Morales will hop back up and he's jumping right back into the fire.
Steyerwalt doing an excellent job not letting him get any ground, keeping control of the center of that cage.
You can feel the anticipating inside the Idaho Central Arena, a hush as everyone feels this fight could almost be over in a moment with the high-flying fireworks abilities that both of these fighters have.
Morales finally making it to the center of that cage, looking for his opening.
I wouldn't call it a lull, but finally a little bit of a slowdown here in the action as fighters now looking for those technical shots, as Steyerwalt got a pretty good shot through the gloves, as it looks like Morales is cut above his lip there.
Steven's been a very technical counter fighter for a long time. It looks like he's looking to do that again with Morales. Morales is starting to throw some of the similar shots. Steven's getting wise to it, and he's looking to find his counter opportunities to either close distance or throw some hands of his own.
And a correction, it looks like he actually caught him in the nose. A little bit of blood coming out of the nose there from Dimitri Morales, and that is important because as we talk to fighters, sometimes when you get hit in the nose, whether it hurts or not, it can be harder to breathe and get those deep breaths and to really recharge, especially as a fight would go into those deeper waters.
Absolutely, when the nose gets cut off, then you rely on your mouth and you're fighting your mouth guard, it becomes a whole thing very fast.
Again, we're in round 1 here as about 2.5 minutes here into our first round is a good exchange there as both fighters getting some shots in. We've seen Morales, Cameron, so far trying some of these leg kicks.
Yeah, absolutely. He's using the hands to set up the leg kicks, but then he started to switch and use the leg kicks to set up the hands. Very wise. The big difference in the pro versus AMI is the pro fighters know the first shot that they throw isn't the one that they're looking to land and create a highlight reel. It's that second, it's that third shot. So setting those up along the way is crucial.
Something Morales has excelled at so far here is not just the speed of the strikes, but they are landing very well. Sometimes you see a fighter, the really quick shots, run the points up, but these are not only strong hits, they're fast hits, as it looks like we might have had an inadvertent shot below the belt here, as the referee's going to ask Steyerwalt to go back to his corner, as he's explained to the referee he's in his red corner, but no problem here as we have a brief stoppage here as we give Morales a minute to...
As he recovers from this hit, you have to point out both fighters making great hits on each other and making a great job just wearing these hits.
And a shout out, of course, to Mark Coates, who is in the chat here on YouTube. I see Mark Coates tuning in to join us. We'd love to see that. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining us here on YouTube, and everyone around Idaho, the country, and the world here for Front Street Fights 36, as we are back to action here after the stoppage there for the inadvertent shot below the belt there. So both fighters get a little bit of a recharge.
Absolutely, a little bit of recovery for both. We'll see if they change any game plans or if they just stick to what they've been doing.
Time is winding down here in our first round as both fighters, I think, have got to be happy with some of the strikes they've landed. It seems pretty even so far.
It's definitely been so far in the striking, but Steven's been really able to capitalize on the cage fighting and the cage wrestling quite a bit. I'd be looking to close distance again. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. If he gets this thing to the ground, he can start to execute some of his skills there. I know Steven loves to bang, but we'll see if he switches the game plan to get a little bit more advantageous in his positioning.
I agree with that. The cage control is something to always keep in mind, as Steyerwalt's done a good job cutting off the angles here. As The strikes are only one part of the category here as we have the clap for the final 10 seconds here in our first round between Steyerwalt and Morales here, as Morales will get some late round kicks in there. And that'll be the end of our first round of action. And I guess this is the first round that's been completed here tonight.
The judges are finally getting work for their pay. I don't envy them, though. That was a heck of a first round.
Let's take a look at Steyerwalt's initial takedown and some of the exchanges there from round one. We'll see if we can get a shot of, it might have been that fist that got just the top of the nose, the bridge of the nose, as Morales also stinging Steyerwalt there. Almost he cracked a smile, Steyerwalt did, as he ate that one up against the chin.
Yeah, Stevens, I've known Steven for years and years and years. Former training partner, he's a great guy. I hate how much he loves getting punched, but he doesn't bother him.
Okay, so I didn't realize that both of my commentary partners tonight have something in common. They have been willing to stand in front of Steven Steyerwalt and willingly take punches.
Many rounds, lots of sweat, a little bit of blood, mostly mine. I don't know how to make it sound fun. It's not.
I feel the mostly mine comment for sure.
He's a great instructor too. I took one of his boxing classes a number of years ago, and the way that he sees fighting and the technical aspect that he has as a teacher and as a student of the game, it definitely shows up in his fights.
Absolutely.
And it was cool to see him working in the gym as not only an athlete but as a coach. And yes, you can see here as he's a great wrestler as well. The cauliflower ears, those are not just for show. You earned those.
Through the double leg in there, got him down. He's got his hips against the cage. Dimitri's doing a good job posting. Steven needs to get his hips out from under him. He wants to get Dimitri's back flat. He doesn't want his back against the cage. It makes it tough to work from there. So see if he can continue to break down his posture or get his back to the mat.
While Steyerwalt had an excellent takedown, but Morales is doing a good job of creating that distance and finding his openings when he has the opportunity.
Great job by Morales to get back up to a vertical base here as Steyerwalt trying to take this to the mat for the first time here tonight.
Steven does have the underhooks as well. He does have a little bit of that advantage. We're doing some hand fighting on one side. He can change levels and go back to those legs if he wants to. Dimitri's really high on those legs. I'd be taking him out from under him if I'm Steven.
Morales trying to sneak in a knee to the midsection there to create some room there between Steyerwalt, but Steyerwalt, like white on rice, he's stuck to him right here.
The bulk pounder, pounding away.
Saw Steven's hand go in between the legs there. That's to block some of those knees.
He does a good job there. You might have seen the left arm come down. It's so hard to time that when you're in the clinch like that, getting your arm down and not absorbing the contact. We saw Charles Rush here tonight take a shot to the midsection that ended it. But a great job by Morales getting out from against the cage. What will he do with it as he throws a major shot there? Steyerwalt avoided major damage, but certainly took a shot.
Absolutely fantastic striking being seen right now. Great distance, great opportunities.
The speed from both of these fighters it's just so compelling to see them go back and forth here. Steyerwalt throws a big rocket there as Morales just gets underneath it and returns with the shot to the midsection there on the left leg. What a shot there! Oh boy, right into the rib cage. That one already swelling up. You could see the red there on the right side of Steyerwalt. That one stung him. And now a shot there to the top. Morales getting into a bit of a rhythm here as Steyerwalt here still probing.
The way that a boxing guard works, it's really difficult to protect your head and your body at the same time. You're shifting. It's a game of inches, but there's still some shifting with that elbow sliding up and down the rib cage to protect your head and your ribs. Dimitri's doing a good job, like we talked about earlier, where he's throwing hands to the head. He gets Steven's elbow up a little bit, and then he fires off that shot to the ribs with that kick.
Absolutely, and those inches can make a difference of milliseconds, and those seconds can decide the entire fight, whether you make that defense in time.
These kicks here from Morales, devastating pinpoint. He's got a target that he's hitting right on the button. Steyerwalt will do a good job, though, to push off the offensive, get him back to the cage with under 2 to go here in round 2.
Those kicks to the body are definitely landing for Dimitri, but he's got a tremendous head kick on him. And I think he's probably looking to get Steven thinking, protecting his ribs, and then at the minute that he drops his glove, we may see a big head kick from Morales, or at least a big attempt.
So far, it seems like he's been happy to have the shots at the midsection. pulling out that head high kick. We've seen some fights here and in spectacular fashion. As a hush falls over the crowd here with 1:15 remaining in round 2. Great back and forth fight that has basically been on a vertical base.
Starwalt trying to get that grappling game in, but Morales won't have it.
You may be able to hear both corners shouting out some mid-round adjustments in a fight like this that gets deeper and deeper. It's which fighter can adjust and find the vulnerability, find the hole. There's a great exchange there, as you can see Starwalt again tagging the nose of Morales as he'll throw a return kick. Starwalt steps away.
Great head movement by Dimitri, fantastic job.
Be interesting to see if Starwalt tries to take this to the ground, but he's very happy to stand up and strike.
Steven's a great wrestler, and he's even better at jiu-jitsu. I'd be throwing in some takedowns here as well.
20 seconds to go here in round 2. If this survives the next little bit, we'll go to a 5-minute final third round. As you can hear the final 10-second clap there as Starwalt in control here against the cage. Morales holding on. As time will tick off the clock in round 2, this will go to the final phase, the third stage. Morales and Starwalt here putting on a show to kick off the pro portion of our card. And I love to hear just what the corners are saying. I know that we're a little bit closer to the SBG corner, so I can hear what they're yelling at Starwalt, but everybody, the Lewiston corner we'll call it from Arnett's, they've got some thoughts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Making some adjustments. It's been a really close battle. Now we're going to look to see if we can get an edge here. Dimitri Morales looks like he's doing a little bit of breathing heavy, grabbing some water. Totally understandable with the pace that he's been putting on this fight. Look to get him fresh, get him calmed down, and then go back to that mixing of the strikes that he was doing such a great job of, the head shots, the body shots. Let's keep those going. That's where he was finding his rhythm. That's why he was finding his target.
He did a great job towards the end there, where instead of repeating the same strikes over and over, he was mixing it up a bit, allowing him to get a few more hits in.
It's easy for me to sit here as the broadcaster and talk about adjustments. I've never fought. Cameron, how difficult is it to make those adjustments in between rounds? It's easy to, oh, do this, do that. As the fighter, being in there and actually making that change, something maybe you didn't prepare for.
That's why the clarity of mind is so important for the coach to get the fighter through. Is, hey, calm down, let's talk about this. Got a quick minute to tell you what I see. I know you might be seeing something. Here's what I see. Let's make this adjustment. Let's do this thing. Trust your coaches, trust your corner.
Final 5 on the board here for Starwalt and Morales. A lot on the line for both gentlemen.
Starwalt throwing some
He's got his hips and a takedown. Beautiful job.
Great double leg here as Starwalt. That's an adjustment going to the mat. So we haven't seen anything in this type of action so far.
We haven't yet. We saw a takedown earlier. This time he's got the takedown and he's got him flat on his back. Steven's getting the knee on belly. He's going for that mount. This is exactly what I would have been telling him if I was in his corner in between rounds. Continue to work the top game. It's really hard for Morales to work from underneath. He's going to have to get out of there, and Steven's jiu-jitsu is legit.
Only a slight weight advantage for Starwalt. He carries a different frame than Morales, making it a little tougher for him to fight out, but wait away for Morales there to kind of jet out of the corner. We did see earlier on Starwalt's first takedown, Morales in a better position to get back onto his feet. Not this time. Starwalt really has him pinned down to the mat.
Morales is doing the right thing. He's getting his feet on the wall. He's looking to wall walk. You can sometimes hit a switch in that position. He pushed him away. Didn't quite get out from underneath Steven. Steven's going to be continuing to work that pressure. I think he just wants to wear him down until he can get back to mount. He is pushing that far side knee. Morales doing a good job of keeping his legs locked, though.
Under 3.5 to go here in our final round between Dimitri Morales from Lewiston, Idaho, and Steven Starwalt from Boise, Idaho. Crowd starting to get loud here.
Steven does need to stay busy. It's going to be critical for him to continue moving, continue looking to advance position, continuing to look to do some damage. He can't just be in a pinning position for too long or the ref will stand it up.
Absolutely, he needs to take advantage of finally getting down on the mat. It's the place he's been looking to get to for a while now.
Starwalt's had some submission victories here at Front Street Fight. You may remember at 19 against Leon Taylor. And by the way, if you look at the beginning of Starwalt's career, as Morales gets back up onto his feet as the crowd gets into it, his corner, applauding him and the amount of effort it takes to get out of that predicament, Cam.
Morales did a great job of providing such a great example of what posture does. He got his head up first, he got his shoulders over his hips, he got his hips over his feet, and he came right back up. Tremendous job by Morales, just executing his technique with his positioning and his body position.
Time to work here with about 2 minutes to go in our third round. Does Morales have a way to turn the tide as Steyerwalt continues to bring the pressure here against the cage? You can also see here up close right against the cage, it appears that Morales did take a shot down there. He's got a bit of a bruise forming there right over the right eye. Doesn't look like it's impacting his vision so far, but with under 2 to go, it's all about finishing the next 2 minutes. You worry about that stuff later.
Yeah, we have been watching that mouse grow through this exchange. We'll see if it affects him. Good base by Morales, getting his legs out wide.
So Steyerwalt trying to go for that double leg scoop. Morales does a good job here again from a vertical base with 90 seconds to go here.
Steven has the hand locked. He's got the gable grip. He let it go now, but he's doing a good job maintaining those underhooks.
You can truly see the experience here from Steven shine just as he's keeping absolute technical advancement here on the cage.
Those sharp knees to the legs, to the quads, to the hamstring areas, trying to chop down the tree, so to speak.
You mentioned those knees. That's a really critical element of what's happening here. Dimitri Morales does want to turn into Steven. He doesn't want to face him square, but every time he does, Steven throws a knee into that quad, and so you can see his feet going from side to side, debating which side he wants to go to try to escape from. Meanwhile, Steven's locking him up with those underhooks.
Final 50 seconds. Are there fireworks in store? Steyerwalt doing his best to try to drag down Morales to finish this fight. Morales doing everything he can to create some separation. Maybe throw one bomb at the bell.
Good defense with the overhooks by Morales. Really good job to keep Steven from dropping and changing levels.
23 seconds to go here in our final round. As Steyerwalt will push him up against the cage here, the final 10 on the clap.
Steven is looking to make a statement with this takedown here.
There he goes! As he'll get some shots in here, as that'll do it. A fantastic fight back and forth. We'll see how this one is officially scored. Steyerwalt certainly taking a different path there in the third round. That might do it. We will see here as it comes down to the card. Instant reaction, Cameron. That was a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, tremendous adjustments by Steven for that third round. Those first 2 rounds were very, very close. We're going to see who the judges give the edge to.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights here from Steven Steyerwalt. I think this takedown, as we'll watch after the combination, this ended up being one of the most pivotal moments of the fight. As you can see there, oh yeah, the raining elbows down. I think that was the shot that caught him right over the eye. You can see quite a bruise forming there. Steyerwalt, though, as Justin, I think you touched on, that's where he showed some of the veteran moves, some of the veteran cage control as he was able to really shift the tide there. But a great fight there from Dimitri Morales.
Absolutely, that technique just really shines in those moments. You love to see it.
So looking over at the scorer's table as the judges here are getting their final notes down. Thank you so much for joining us here on a beautiful Friday night here in Boise, Idaho. Front Street Fights 36. If you're just joining us, just wrapped up with Dimitri Morales and Steven Steyerwalt. This one goes to the judges' scorecard. But I'm already excited to see both of these fighters return here to Front Street Fights, Justin. That was great.
Absolutely, it was a great fight, and honestly, either way this goes, both the fighters did an amazing job. We saw some amazing striking, amazing takedowns. Both the fighters landing some awesome hits. They just taken the hits like they were nothing and continuing on. Like it was said earlier, when Steven takes those hits, he just smiles right back at you. And Morales, he matched that energy.
We talked a lot about the adjustments that we saw from the fighters. Taking it to the mat was impressive. Morales did a great job, though, of being relentless in terms of fighting back. We saw it earlier in the first round, fighting back to a vertical base. But it looks like the decision No, maybe not. Hold on. I thought I saw it handed off. My mistake. Still standing by. A lot to score. Of course, as we highlighted here a few moments ago, it's not just the strikes and it's not just the, I guess, the visual aspects of, okay, did he get punched? Did he not get punched? A lot of great cage control there from Steyerwalt, really controlling the angles as well. Absolutely. In the first two fights. But seriously, for Dimitri Morales, if you think back to the first round, the fire he came out with, the speed of his strikes, not just the speed, but the amounts of them, and they were landing, and they were power punches.
Yeah, and you got to take into account too, while Steyerwalt had the center of the ring, Morales a lot of the times was backing up intentionally, would bring him forward to land that kick, to land that punch, while Steven was doing an amazing job putting that pressure in over and over again and keeping that center control. Morales was just dancing around him without a care. He just would bring him forward and then meet his advancement with a kick. He saw the pressure and would just meet him over and over again.
As we hear the cheer from the SBG Idaho fans as Steyerwalt looks across the cage and says hello to some familiar faces. Steyerwalt, by the way, he's still ready to go. I know our video team showed him kind of shadow boxing the back here. He's still fresh. But back to Dimitri Morales, the 22-year-old. I mean, sky's the limit for him. You know, regardless of what this decision is here tonight, he shows so many great assets to his game. I love the speed of his strikes. I love the way that he moved. And he also showed us the kicks. We didn't, Cameron and I talked about it. I was hoping to see a high kick, you know, maybe a sudden stop. We'll get to Mike Thomas, though, for the final announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we move to the judges' scorecards. This fight has been scored 29-28 blue, 29-28 red. 29-28, your winner by split decision out of the red corner, Steven the Pork Pounder Steyerwalt.
Steven Steyerwalt, the Pork Pounder himself. Thrilled to have you back. I know you're anxious to get back in the win column. How are you feeling right now?
Hey man, I feel great. Yeah, I feel good. I won't complain.
Walk us through that fight, the first couple rounds, lots of striking. How are you feeling in those first couple rounds in those exchanges?
I felt good, man. Yeah, he was throwing those low kicks, and I could feel them kind of on my calf, but they weren't bothering me. You know, I was just trying to stay the course. We wanted to pressure this kid. We felt like he's tough, man. He's very good, talented. He'll be back. He'll be back better than ever, but we didn't think he'd fought anybody like us before, you know, so wanted to push that pace, grind on him a bit, make him tired. Feel like we accomplished that.
What did you notice coming out of the second round that led to the adjustments in the third round where we switched to a grappling style?
I mean, it was just working. And it's kind of like I said, what we worked on in training anyways. It's what we wanted to do. That's the plan we were planning on implementing. So just took it there.
Glad to have you back here at Front Street and glad to see you back in the win column. Give it up for Steven Steyerwalt.
All right, Steven Steyerwalt comes away with the victory. Back in the win column here at Front Street Fights with his corner there from SBG Idaho. Hey, it's almost time for our co-main event of the evening. A featherweight matchup between Devin Jackson and Raymond Lawley. We're gonna step aside, but we'll get you to the co-main event in just a minute.
Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
Welcome to Twin Peaks.
Boise's most scenic place to catch every touchdown, home run, knockout, and slam dunk. Score big when you combine HD views, made from scratch food, and our teeth-chattering 29-degree draft beer. So what are you waiting for? Get your axe into Twin Peaks.
80 years. That's a lot of stories. Stories of first steps and first checkups. Of an Idaho invention that opened up new terrain. Of fishtails and dad jokes. Of frozen potatoes. As Idaho's first health insurer, Blue Cross of Idaho was there for you then. We're here for you now. And we'll be there for every story to come.
Criminy. Your plants, how'd you get them to grow like this?
I started banking with ICCU.
ICCU?
Yeah, I should have switched a long time ago. Credit union with service and technology like theirs is just better. I can do everything in the app and talk to an actual human being on video chat.
Hi.
And that made your plants grow like crazy?
You tell me.
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
Well, a beautiful shot of downtown Boise on a hot July night. You're tuned in to Front Street Fights 36 live from the Idaho Central Arena. Joe Paris, Cameron Moore, and Justin Jensen at the table with you as it's time for our co-main event of the evening. This one is gonna be good. We've got a big-time fan favorite. I was actually listening to some of the fans as we filed into the arena. They said, boy, I can't wait to see Ray tonight. Well, it is about that time as we will get ready to send it here into the cage to Mike Thomas momentarily. But thank you to everyone for joining us on YouTube and KTVB and wherever you're watching us here tonight. We appreciate it. Let's get into Mike Thomas to get the game going.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, fighting out of the blue corner, Devin Jackson.
Devin Jackson coming off of a win against Blake Alvey at Future of Fighting 11. That was a unanimous decision. An interesting situation back at MFL 59 against Ryan Ismail, a disqualification, inadvertent there for Jackson, but going previous to that, back-to-back wins against Henderson and Kirby. Cameron, what do we know about Devin Jackson coming to us tonight out of Muncie, Indiana?
Yeah, Indiana, if there's one thing the Midwest is known for, it's wrestling, and this guy's a 3-time state placer in wrestling. So really looking to see him use that and execute and get this fight to the ground.
We'll get some info on Devin Jackson. The 32-year-old comes in tonight 3-2, 5'10", 69-inch reach. He trains out of Muncie BJJ and the Muncie PAL Club. Always love those PAL clubs, the police activity leagues. They do so many great things in communities, including here in Boise. I know the Boise PAL Club and the boxing scene here. But this is exciting. I love this about Front Street Fights. We get fighters from many different backgrounds. It's not rinse, recycle, rematch, repeat. We're going to get a guy here in Devin Jackson who will certainly be a test for a fan favorite in Raymond Lawley.
Absolutely. We get all sorts of flavors coming down here from all sides of the United States, all sides of the planet, really. Idaho just seems to be that focal point as of late, and we're excited to see them get in the cage.
And you can certainly see, too, in different parts of the country, as you can imagine, different styles of wrestling at the high school and collegiate level. As you touched on, out of Muncie, out of the Midwest, Devin Jackson's going to have that real, you call it like the farm boy style almost, you know, there's that different type of feel than maybe the East Coast elites. But let's get back in to meet the opponent.
Fighting out of the red corner, Raymond Lawley.
Well, Raymond Lawley coming off of a major win against Darian Orvin, a TKO back at Front Street Fights 34. Previously at Front Street Fights, a loss to Mikola Plazinski. That was a tough fight for Lawley there, but I think he learned a lot from that submission defeat.
Absolutely. I may be wrong, but I think this is his first fight with us at 145. It's typically a lightweight. He looks great. He's lean, he's in shape. He looks fantastic. He's going to be a little bit lighter. We'll see how that affects his game.
You absolutely love to see these repeats that just keep coming back, bringing the fans back. And then people coming from across the country and bringing in new fans and growing the fan base. SBG, just a constant show up here, so we know what kind of fighting style to expect from him. Great show out from all the other SBG fighters. I expect nothing less from Ray here.
We'll take a look at the tail of the tape between Lawley and Jackson. Presented to us tonight by Miller Lite. As you take a look at these athletes, a lot in common. Certainly a lot in common in terms of their record, in terms of the way that they move out there, in terms of their physical size. We'll see kind of about the styles though. Cameron, what can you tell us?
He loves to bang. He loves to bang. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic. He likes to hit very hard. When he throws everything with power.
Of course, coming up after our co-main event, counting down to Burkholder and Gutierrez for the flyweight championship here at Front Street Fights 36. Thank you so much for joining us here on YouTube, on KTVB, wherever you're watching us. Hopefully you're watching us live. If not, tell your friends these are always on demand. You can always catch the highlights as well on our YouTube channel. Without further ado, the man with the mic, Mike Thomas, gets us set for the co-main event.
Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the Front Street Fights featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner with a record 3 wins and 2 defeats, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 145.5 pounds, fighting out of Muncie, Indiana, representing Muncie BJJ and Muncie Pal Club. Please welcome Devin the Dagger Jackson. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner with a record of 3 wins, 3 defeats, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 145.5 pounds, fighting out of Boise, Idaho, representing SBG Idaho. Please welcome Raymond Baby Ray Lawley. Your referee for this fight is Mike Mickelson.
A lot of folks in the building here tonight inside the Idaho Central Arena for this fight. Of course, there's going to be the hometown fans here in Boise. Raymond Lawley training just down the road from here. I see you folks, though, who are cheering on the Dagger. Devin Jackson. That's a cool nickname.
Absolutely.
All right, 5 minutes up on the clock, 3 5-minute rounds. It's Jackson and Lawley here on Friday night for Front Street Fights 36 as matching kicks turn into a struggle here at the center.
Interesting to see Jackson come out and start throwing kicks rather than go straight to his wrestling.
So we'll get a very different start to this matchup than we had in our previous one. Here again at the featherweight 145 division, and for Lawley, a different weight class. Cameron, how do you think that plays into this?
Yeah, I mean, for Ray, he's big, he's strong, and I think this cut, he feels good, he looks good, he cut weight well. I'm excited to see the difference that it makes.
Great exchange here up against the cage to get things early. A nice knee to the midsection. This is Raymond Lawley and Devin Jackson here.
Ray doing a good job with his defensive wrestling. He's keeping his base wide, and he's digging at the underhooks of his own, pushing the face away.
Here in round one, thanks for joining us here as the intensity continues to build towards our main event. Nice shot there from Jackson, pushing through the middle, connecting with Lawley's nose. Fighters seem to be taking turns in terms of their probes, looking for this spot into that. I know that I mean, Lawley's such a great wrestler, you wonder how long he stays standing up.
Absolutely. He's also a southpaw, which is going to throw people off every time. They're hard to train for unless you have those training partners that are dedicated to stand in southpaw or that already fight southpaw.
It's just such a different look, especially with a fighter he's got quick fists as well. We talk about his wrestling. Raleigh is certainly no slouch in terms of the striking game.
Raleigh's doing really well with his cage wrestling.
Devin Jackson as well. He does have a submission victory under his belt against Willie Henderson. That was at Buck Wild MMA. So Jackson, not someone that's just coming in here to have a, an elaborate boxing match. He's got a full bag as well. Is he taking it right there? Raymond Lawley knocks him out right on the button. What a shot to the chin there. Raymond Lawley.
Right on the separation. I mean, we talk about it all the time. When these guys separate against the cage, you've got to be aware. They're not just walking away. They're going to be throwing those short shots and Ray threw a beautiful one.
The Idaho Central Arena on their feet here tonight. That's exactly what they came here to see. Devin Jackson asking what happened. Raymond Lawley, a quick left that ends the night.
An absolute amazing pull out of that cage and into his chin, just taking him right down.
Oh my, what a clean shot. If you're building a highlight reel, that's the clip you play first. Raymond Lawley wasting little time. Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights of that fight. Of course, leading to that spectacular knockout. I was interested if this was going to end up being a mat match, but you can hear it there for the ringside camera. Bang on the left, out before he hits the ground. This will be a clip that is obviously seen for years here at Front Street Fights. What a shot from Baby Ray Ray.
You know, he unloaded a combination on the way out, but the first one clipped him and the rest was all just icing on the cake.
The cherry on top. Okay, Cameron, well, I'm excited to hear what he has to say. And that's about as clean of the strike as you're ever going to see. As they finish the paperwork here, and of course safety first as they check on Devin Jackson to make sure he's okay. Maybe our crew could cue up the final moments of that fight again as we have another look here. Okay, let's take a look here. So right off of the separation, as Cameron pointed out here, right up against that mat, boom! It's not even a major windup, it's just a clean shot right there. I mean, it just shows the power of Lawley.
You can absolutely see just the muscle memory took over there. He staged him up with his right hand, and then the left flew right into the chin, knocking him right out. It's what he trains for. It's what you like to see.
That's how you draw it up. I mean, coming out of the separation there, just right on the button. What a shot. Well, if you were looking for a quick finish, this is your night. We have had a lot of exciting first rounds that are co-main event. Raymond Lawley, a spectacular knockout here. That'll bring him to 4-3 and put him back in the win column here at Front Street Fights. Back-to-back wins at Front Street Fights 34. Now Front Street Fights 36. Raymond Lawley.
We'll have to see if we can get him back for the next one. He continues it.
I'll tell you, he's probably ready to go again. So I think the featherweight division is off to a good start for Lawley, as Cameron also highlighted. Lawley is left-handed, so that was his strong hand coming out of the separation there, and that is a difference.
No, it absolutely is. That strength behind the shot can absolutely change depending.
This fight was stopped at 2 minutes, 18 seconds of round number 2 by your winner, out of the red corner, Raymond Lawley.
Baby Ray Ray, welcome back to the cage. incredible finish tonight. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. Feeling great. New weight class, new me, still knocking dudes out, so feels good.
You mentioned the new weight class. How's the move to 145 from 155 been?
Oh, it's awesome. I feel much better, much more athletic. I have to do the work to get here, so I show up in great shape, prepared every time.
The first round was a bit of a grappling exchange. What were the adjustments that you saw that you could make in the second round to lead to such a knockout?
I don't think we made it to the second.
Did we not? Second minute.
We just knew to be patient, be defensively sound, you know, fight the hands, fight the grappling exchanges. He'd get a little tired, but he pressed as soon as we broke, so we knew there was an opening there. His hands dropped, and I just put two together, put him out.
Tremendous job. Who do you want to shout out? Who do you want to thank?
I want to give a big shout out to my coaches and my team. They're the ones who get me here, get me ready, have me looking good, so God bless all of them. My friends, my family, they're all in the crowd. They're going crazy. You can hear them. Make some noise, come on! There it is. And then I want to give a big shout out to one of my sponsors, TRC Plus, Jesse over here. Kept my body in great shape, working. I feel awesome, so big shout out to them as well.
A highlight reel knockout for Baby Ray. Give it up for your winner, Raymond Lawley.
Well, that's about as big of an explosion of applause and cheers as you'll hear at a Front Street Fights event. Well earned from Raymond Lawley. New weight class, new me. I love it.
Absolutely, and it takes the effort to get down there, so I can only imagine how good he's feeling. Well, Joe, we're going to have to see if the trend here continues. First round, first fight's gone and done.
Well, it's almost time for our main event of the evening, a championship fight. Jordan Burkholder and Mauro Gutierrez will fight for the flyweight title after a quick break.
It starts with one puff, one choice. But did you know vaping can expose you to chemicals and lead to nicotine addiction? Vaping affects more than your body. It can harm your focus, your health, your future. Make the choice. Health over haze.
Yowza, how'd you catch all these? I just started banking with ICCU. ICCU? You should join. I've got a branch around the corner, and with the mobile app, I can take ICCU wherever I go. I even had someone helping me on video chat at 6 p.m. on a Friday. Now that's service.
And so now every foul ball gets hit to you.
You tell me.
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
Hey, grab me one too.
It starts with one puff, one choice. But did you know vaping can expose you to chemicals and lead to nicotine addiction? Vaping affects more than your body. It can harm your focus, your health, your future. Make the choice. Health over haze.
A beautiful look at Idaho's capital city, downtown Boise. We're inside the Idaho Central Arena where it's main event time. Front Street Fights 36. It's time for our flyweight championship bout between Jordan Burkholder and Mauro Gutierrez. Let's get in to the man with the mic, Mike Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Mauro Gutierrez.
Main event time. This is Mauro Gutierrez coming off of a big win at Fierce FC 47. against Christopher Anderson, a TKO. You may remember Gutierrez locally against Devin Jackson back at Front Street Fights 32, a TKO against Devin Jackson. Gutierrez comes into tonight with a professional record of 5-3. He made the drive up from Logan, Utah. He trains at the Battleground MMA and J.Crew Jiu-Jitsu. This is Mauro Gutierrez. Cameron, what do we know about Mauro?
You know, that fight that he had at Fierce, he won the title there. He's looking to collect another belt and become a belt collector. His camp is great. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Recently been training with J.Crew. They got Josh Johnson, Maylene Johnson down there teaching some incredible jiu-jitsu, both black belts. So excited to see what he's bringing to his grappling game in his time working with them. He's also had some boxing matches here in the past little bit too. So whether it goes grappling or it goes stand-up, see what he's been adding to his tool belt here.
There are two trains of thoughts on bringing a championship from a different promotion as you walk in. But it sets the tone when you have that gold behind you. I'm here to fight like a champion. I'm not here just to be a challenger. I'm a championship fighter. I've been there. I've won this. I know how to get this done.
Absolutely. When you have so much on the line, these fights become a battle of inches and small moments. And speaking of, he comes into this fight with a 2-inch height and 2-inch reach advantage, so we'll have to see if he uses that to his advantage.
Mauro Gutierrez, a guy who's got a lot of talent. And as we step into our main event, I've spoken with fighters, and Cameron, I'm interested for your insight on this as well. There is a different feel when you are in the main event. Sure, you can just say it's the placement on the card, the piece of paper, how your name appears on the promotion. But when you step in knowing you are the main event, it does feel different.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's tremendous, can be tremendous internal pressure for that. Your name's on the marquee. Your face is the biggest one on the poster. People are buying tickets to see you. You're in a championship match. I mean, all of those things factor into that mental battle.
Let's meet his opponent.
Fighting out of the blue corner, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jordan Burkholder.
Jordan Burkholder returns to the familiar sounds of Johnny Cash here. An interesting road since we've seen him last year at Front Street Fights. A submission loss to Chance Ikea at LFA 220, and then a unanimous decision loss to Livio Ribeiro at LFA 228. His last win was for the championship he holds now here in Front Street Fights. At Front Street Fights 36, he's looking to get back in the win column.
Really accomplished wrestler, wrestled 4 years in college. Was a placer in wrestling in his career there. We talked a lot about the boxing and the jiu-jitsu of Gutierrez. We'll see how that wrestling makes Gutierrez adjust.
Out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, the famous Jackson Wink MMA Academy. Burkholder, last time here at Front Street Fights, he took on Shojan Miki in an absolute war. It lasted 5 rounds. It was a bloody war. He was in the driver's seat the whole time, but he has shown us he can go the distance here. And he is a very talented wrestler and striker. It'll be interesting to see these two styles. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape if we have it handy here as the fighters are getting the final instructions before our main event here tonight. Tail of the tape brought to us by Miller Lite. Jordan Burkholder and Mauro Gutierrez. Very similar styles, very similar stats. A slight height advantage for Gutierrez, and even slighter reach advantage there for Gutierrez at the 70-inch. So we will see how that plays out here as we are ready for the main event of Front Street Fights 36.
This is the main event of the evening. This fight is brought to you by Project Filter and is scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds and is for the Front Street Flyweight Championship title. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 5 wins and 3 defeats, standing at 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 124.5 pounds, fighting out of Logan, Utah, by way of San Clemente, California, representing Battleground MMA and J-Crew Jiu-Jitsu, please welcome Mauro El Ángel Gutierrez. Fighting out of the red corner with a record of 6 wins, 4 defeats, fighting standing at 5 feet, 2 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds, fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Crooksville, Ohio, representing Jackson Wink MMA Academy. Please welcome the champion, Jordan Butters Burkholder. Your referee for this fight is Aaron Willing.
Rules in the locker room. Defend yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Touch gloves now. Let's put on a show.
The stage is set. Only combatants and a referee are left inside the cage. They will lock them in. 5 minutes up on the clock. Title on the line. Main event time at Front Street Fights 36. Burkholder and Gutierrez.
Immediately off the back here, both fighters going to war. You love to see it.
Gutierrez with 2 heavy shots. Big strikes, aiming there for the head there as Burkholder will have his leg kind of picked there as it'll be Gutierrez in the driver's seat here to start things off. At the flyweight division though, the speed and the intensity, it is so special. And the theme of the night has been quick finishes, Cameron. I think Gutierrez is happy to follow that script as he gets going here.
I think he'd love to. I was a bit surprised that he went to the ground with him. Burkholder seemed to take a shot and go to the ground, but Gutierrez, he trusts his grappling, so he's going to continue right in.
Both of them are accomplished wrestlers. As we saw from Jordan Burkholder against Shojin Miki, he could do this all night. As Burkholder will try to raise up, taking Gutierrez with him. Great recovery here, and now it's Burkholder back in the driver's seat.
Gutierrez was trying to hit that switch. He just couldn't get it deep enough, so he was on the wrong side of that takedown, unfortunately. He is doing the right thing. He's getting his back against the wall. He's going to try to wall walk up, and there it is.
A great energy, a great environment here inside the Idaho Central Arena. We love everyone joining us here on YouTube and KTVB, but you got to get here to the Central Arena for Friday Night Fights, Front Street Fights. It is a special MMA environment here in Boise, Idaho, as our title fight continues here with under 4 to go in our first round.
Gutierrez getting much deeper with that switch. Still not quite as deep as we want it.
Familiar face cage side there, UFC legend, MMA legend, Miesha Tate joining us here tonight. Be interesting to hear her thoughts on the performances here tonight. As we focus on this fight, real quickly, back to Raymond Lawley. What a finish on our co-main event. The stage is set for these fighters to try and outdo that.
Really good combos by Gutierrez. He needs to continue to put those together.
Great dodge
Excellent.
there.
Ducked the punch, went right to the double leg.
Veteran fighters here. This is the 9th fight for Gutierrez in his professional career, 11th fight for Burkholder. They have both learned a lot through wins and losses.
Gutierrez, as soon as he got taken down, he slid right back to the cage. He wanted to do the exact same thing, and he got his hips over his feet and came right back up.
Burkholder using the power of his legs, trying to force an angle here to get Gutierrez down to the mat. He's able to negotiate his way down there, but Gutierrez almost conceding, I'm going down, I might as well get into a favorable position.
Absolutely.
Really intricate, close combat fighting here as the fans getting involved, the corners getting involved. Is back to vertical base now for Gutierrez.
Gutierrez is trying to get away. Burkholder's just doing an amazing job, just holding him in place, not letting him get away, making sure he keeps that advantage in his corner.
The strength, the energy expended by both athletes there is a great lead in the midsection for Gutierrez. He's trying to get some separation, as we saw with Raymond Lawley. Sometimes all you need is a few inches of space.
Gutierrez is doing a really good job controlling that arm. It's keeping Burkholder from locking his hands, keeping him from getting him wrapped around. Good adjustment by Burkholder. Rather than going around the waist for the double leg, he shot down for the single. Allowed him to get his hands together.
First round has flown by, under a minute now in our main event championship fight. Gutierrez and Burkholder at Front Street Fights 36. A great takedown there. Gutierrez doesn't look too concerned. He's again finds himself in a pretty favorable position.
Burkholder's having success with these takedowns, but he's not able to capitalize on it. He can't even keep Gutierrez on the ground. So we'll look to see what his adjustments are going to be.
A similar script that we saw from Burkholder at Front Street Fights 31 of take him down, pick him up, take him down, pick him up. Relentless for 25 minutes we saw that night. Final 10 though in the first round of this one is Burkholder is in the driver's seat here.
Looks determined to just hold him in place.
And that one survives the first round.
All right. Keep the trend going. This one will go all the way through. Seems to be it. Either the first round or all the way through to the end.
Let's take a look at some of the early goings here in round one. It was really Gutierrez that was the aggressor of the early goings, and then Burkholder was able to really control it in terms of the mat as well as up against the cage. In terms of adjustments, what are you looking for?
You know, I'd be looking for distance. Distance is going to be the name of the game for Gutierrez. He's got the reach advantage. Let's get those feet moving. That's how he's going to dictate the range there, is with the feet. It's his punches. He's going to occupy space. He's going to get his hands in front of Burkholder, but he's got to get his body away. He's got to dictate where he's going. Some circular movement is what I'd be telling Gutierrez here.
Great night of MMA here. Thank you for joining us.
Both fighters looking ready to implement whatever strategies they just came up with in their corners. Should be a nice start.
Boy, as you look around the arena here tonight, a packed house at the Idaho Central Arena. A lot of fans, they leave their seats so they can go stand up and be up in the concourse, waiting for that exciting moment to jump up and down as Burkholder grabbing the legs here of Gutierrez, and he's right back to work.
His ability to level change is tremendous. He can get right under those punches. He sees them. He scopes him out. He gets right underneath. He gets the hips. The cage work is where we're having trouble. He's getting into the cage. He's putting pressure in. He's making him work, but getting him down and then getting his back flat to the mat is where he's going to continue to struggle here.
A methodical pace here from Burkholder.
Now we're starting to break down the pressure. He's getting the hips away from the cage. He's getting shoulders lower to the mat, and he's putting his head pressure in. Some good adjustments from Burkholder here.
Burkholder, we've seen throughout his career, when it's a winning formula, he really controls the matchups like this. He does have a number of submission victories. He's got some decisions where he essentially did this for 15 minutes. So this is going according to plan, I believe, for Burkholder.
This is where he's more comfortable. This is where he wants to be. He wants to be in the middle. He wants to be on the mat. He doesn't want to fight against the cage. Now he's got his back to the mat. He's got some hooks open. Gutierrez is doing some butterfly. He's got a full guard now. And he's even got an arm trap. Ooh, excellent adjustments by Gutierrez.
Gutierrez also an accomplished submission artist.
Switch to the armbar from the triangle.
Does he have a good angle? It's tough to see here from our broadcast position. A lot happening there in the shadow. Uh-oh, he's got the arm there. Gutierrez has got Burkholder's arm. Is Burkholder going to be able to fight out of this? He does.
Wow. Barely gets out of there.
Burkholder screaming, I don't know if in pain or out of intensity. Gutierrez had that arm in deep.
He absolutely did. Excellent adjustment. Got the back, got the hooks in. Be leery about crossing the feet a little bit. Not always a mistake, but He is doing good control. He could switch to a body triangle if he wants to maintain that position. Or open his hooks up to be a little bit more fluid.
Definitely capitalize on that pain he got from escaping that armbar, immediately wrapping behind him and sending him back on the mat.
Gutierrez now in the driver's seat here, cashing in on the flip of the script here with about 2.5 to go in our second round. If you're just joining us, this is main event time, the flyweight championship here at Front Street Fights on the line. Gutierrez trying to wrestle it away from Burkholder here, trying to lock in. Tough to see what type of control he has over the head, over the chin, trying to sneak in underneath for a rear naked choke.
Didn't look like he had quite the control he wanted. He wasn't underneath the chin. When you're on the chin, you can definitely put a lot of pressure there like he's doing right now, but he's got to have some leverage. He's a little high on his back, and he can't quite get the grip that he really, really wants.
Gutierrez doing a good job, veteran moves there, covering the mouth, the nose, restricting the breathing of Burkholder. So much energy is taken from a position that Burkholder's in, just trying to get that hand fight won, trying to flip out of this situation somehow. You can see him wrestling the glove away as Gutierrez is right back to work with about 90 seconds to go here in our second round.
Absolutely, with how solid Gutierrez is holding this, the real question is just, can Burkholder hold out for this minute 20 here?
Burkholder's doing a really good job using the cage as a defensive weapon. It's occupying the hand space, it's occupying a lot of that fight. And now
there's the spin around.
Great technical wrestling there from Burkholder to get back in the position he was in moments ago. I was about to remark that it was huge for Gutierrez, who definitely found himself fighting from behind. But Burkholder back in control here with under a minute to go in our second round. Both fighters back on their feet. For how long, we will see. I think he caught him with a pretty good knee there. The legs around for a submission. Burkholder trying to get the strength to lift him and drop him. Close quarters, curious corners. Back up against the cage with under 20 to go now. Burkholder looked like he tried to sneak a shot in here. The time winding down. Is there time for a final shot of the round? Good positioning there from Gutierrez, though, as he's got him in that side headlock. And that'll do it for our second round. That was good.
Absolutely, great round for both these guys. I mean, Gutierrez did a great job with the grappling exchange. Burkholder got him out to the middle of the mat with that takedown, which was excellent. These guys are starting to work some of their game that they're really wanting to work.
Let's take a look at a key moment here in that second round, as Mauro Gutierrez was able to turn the fight around after Burkholder was essentially in control the first 5 and came out flying in the second. I mean, this was almost, as you can get a good look at there, he didn't quite have, I think, the grip he wanted on it. Well, clearly, because it didn't end.
Just enough for Burkholder to escape out of. Well done.
Gutierrez showing he is a accomplished wrestler. Knows how to find the submission there, especially in tight quarters here, as we'll kick off our third round, as the conditioning will start to come into play now, as both athletes, both fighters expended a lot of energy on the ground.
That strategy for Burkholder, getting him on the cage, picking him up, dropping him, picking him up, dropping him, works really well, but Gutierrez really seemed to have been picking up the pace and understanding how to get out of it towards the end there. So we'll see if he wants to switch up the strategy or try to go with what works.
And that one, I think, a pretty hefty shot below the belt from Burkholder, inadvertent. It did sting him, though. You could hear it here at cage side. That
Burkholder knew it immediately. He backed off.
He backed off. He knew. So we will take a quick break here. We'll show you the angle, the inadvertent shot there. Oh, yeah.
The crowd collectively groans.
Yeah.
You could hear the crowd feel for him in that moment.
Yeah. Gutierrez taking a moment, taking a deep breath, as the referee will give him about as much time as he needs here, as we were seconds into the third round. An inadvertent strike there below the belt. it does happen. Hey, while we have a moment, as the crowd appreciates Gutierrez fighting through, we're back to action here. Sweat starting to build, as you can see the strikes sending the droplets into the night sky.
I'd like to see Gutierrez get back to some of his combinations. He's really heavy with that right hand. He's been pumping it like crazy. I'm not sure if we injured a left hand in there or if he's just using the jab to create distance, but I'd like to see him go back to his combinations and exchanges.
Burkholder trying to find that single leg takedown. Gutierrez does a good job fighting it off, standing up. Dill on the defensive now against the cage here as Burkholder is dragging him around. Still on a knee technically for Gutierrez.
You know, the more unspoken part of what Burkholder's doing, yes, he may have not been able to capitalize on the takedowns that he's wanted, but that wrestling conditioning and the pressure that he's putting on Gutierrez, defensive wrestling is exhausting, and it's starting to wear down Gutierrez.
Relentless. Burkholder just using his shoulders, using his legs to power into the cage here. It's familiar territory for the first 11 minutes.
Gutierrez looking for his openings as Burkholder is keeping to the strategy that works. Gutierrez can stand up, but Burkholder just grabs his legs and drops him right back down.
Good balance here from Gutierrez as he stays up on one leg. Burkholder couldn't sling him around. And look at this.
A lot of pressure. Is turning that into a crank, getting him to turn away from that single leg and making him react. Very nice.
Gutierrez doing a good job turning the tables. Will he be able to maintain it now as it's Burkholder with the defensive wrestling?
Good adjustment by Burkholder. He knew he needed to get those hooks in. He got one of them, and now he's got the other one with the trapped arm.
Got the forearm across the face of Burkholder.
Burkholder needs to match him. He needs to turn on top of him, turn his hips so they're the same direction.
Close quarters with under 3 to go here in our third round. Flyweight title on the line.
Both these fighters showing some amazing wrestling. Burkholder getting the back advantage.
But a change of what we saw from earlier where Burkholder now has the back.
Burkholder trying to get those arms below the chin as Gutierrez doing a good job to use his right arm there to fight off the right arm of Burkholder, but Burkholder doing a masterful job of staying on the back because Gutierrez is going to be able here to stand up and maybe dump Burkholder.
Using a power half there to really break his posture down. He's got that deep hook.
Gutierrez now finds himself in the top position, getting out of another tough situation. With about 1:30 to go here in our third round. You see these shots that Gutierrez has been trying to sneak in, and that is something that, as this matchup goes on, you keep an eye on some of those strikes and the strike total now as Gutierrez onto 2 feet, gets behind, he does.
Yeah, wise move to switch from that front headlock to the back. He needed to put more pressure with that front headlock, but switching to the back is great. You see him work his jiu-jitsu once again and start to dig under. He does have a wrist under the chin now. He's got to shoot that really deep. He wants to get his arm all the way around, obviously, but he wants the crook of his elbow really around Burkholder's Adam's apple there.
Yeah, that left hand of Gutierrez trying to sneak in, unable to do so now as Burkholder's got him by the leg.
Kept that foot trapped to keep him from posturing up. Excellent.
This is a great wrestling display. "30 seconds to go here in our third round. Jordan Burkholder and Mauro Gutierrez. A matchup as we head into the final seconds of our third round. A championship fight, our favorite thing to say. Will this go into deep waters? Championship round. Both gentlemen expending a lot of energy here on the mat. Final 10 seconds here in our third round. that'll do it for our first 15 minutes. An extensive display from both athletes.
Heading into championship rounds now.
We'll show you some of the highlights here of the back and forth wrestling. It'll be interesting to see how this round is scored from the officials. A lot of control early from Burkholder, but Gutierrez did a really good job of changing positionings and taking control.
Great positional battle between these guys. Excellent grappling exchange.
Well, it's Front Street Fights 36. Thanks for joining us here. It has been a memorable night so far. The theme of the night had been quick fights. This one is anything but. We're in a war of attrition here. And these are the rounds where cardio, conditioning, a lot of work that's been done for months.
These are the rounds where the hard work comes out.
Yeah. This is where you don't want to make a mistake. We'll see some strikes exchanged here as Burkholder has enough of that after a few moments.
Looking like Gutierrez wants to stay off of that cage for as long as he can here, keeping some striking game up.
Gutierrez continuing to only throw the right hand.
I wonder if something happened to his left.
If his left hand isn't available, he's got to start mixing in at least the left side kicks, or with the distance that they're at, he could start to throw some elbows.
Back into the cage here now as we're in round 4. And just the amount of energy that was spent over those first 15 minutes by both fighters, they've got to be exhausted.
Wrestling conditioning is unlike any other.
Sometimes in matchups like this, we've seen round 4 almost be a recharge round. It would seem to me that in terms of conditioning, they're about at the same spot right now. It's hard to know for sure. Burkholder working in some of those knees, trying to chop down the legs of Gutierrez. Championship on the line, though. This is, again, where both fighters want to be careful. You don't want to make a tired mistake. Not really in this fight necessarily, but these are the rounds where you start to see fighters drop their hands, drop their guard. And this is what you train for. And this is also where I think it is interesting that both of these fighters, they have similar experience. So they've both been in this situation.
Yeah, championship rounds are not foreign to either of these guys. They both got the conditioning to go.
Looking like Gutierrez is slowly getting off that cage there, peppering in those hits where he can.
Wants to put his shoulder really heavy into Burkholder or go behind him. Again, the same thing he had before. He could stay with the front headlock or go behind. He chooses to go behind.
For Gutierrez, it's been 5 fights since he's went the distance. Seeing a lot of finishes for him recently. Burkholder, as we touched on, went the distance against Miki.
Gutierrez right back up after that takedown. He does not want him to be on the ground.
Time ticking away here in our 4th round.
Burkholder's putting a lot of pressure in, but when his hips are above his head like they were, it's really just pressuring in. There's not as much risk of the takedown. Now that his hips are below his head, we can see the takedown transpire.
Maybe a bit of frustration there for Mauro Gutierrez there as he's seated, as he came into that position.
You can tell he's getting sick of being on the cage.
Yeah.
Back up, getting some good knees into the head, wrestling for a different position.
About 90 seconds remaining here in our 4th round. This one is quickly slipped by. You know, if you're Mauro Gutierrez, you got to start to feel that urgency of knowing that Burkholder has done a good job controlling a lot of the mat. And both have wrestled well. Gutierrez is put up a good fight. And here he goes. Wow, look at that one. Around the world. Seems like the pace, though, is certainly slow.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. This round 4 is, they may be thinking too far ahead to round 5 right now.
Still 54 seconds remains on the clock here in round 4. Flyweight title on the line. Front Street Fights 36. Gutierrez lets some hammer fists as he's against the cage here.
He's maintaining a lot of distance by posting that foot on the hip. Gets himself right back up.
Definitely interesting with Burkholder absolutely controlling the hold right now, but Gutierrez is the one that's peppering in all those extra hits when it comes down to that scorecard. Burkholder may be in control, but Gutierrez just striking away as he holds him against the cage.
Big shots there from the elbows. Tough to see how well they're connecting inside the shadow. Only Jordan Burkholder can tell you for sure. 10 seconds to go here in the round as Gutierrez finally putting something together here in round 4. Some good shots to the head. Great angle there. As that will do it for our 4th round. We go to the final 5 in our main event. Both fighters exhausted. Let's take a look at Burkholder in the driver's seat against the cage in terms of the wrestling, but we saw Gutierrez fighting back, landing some shots against Burkholder. I couldn't see for sure, Cameron, but he seemed to have caught him with one of those, I don't know if it was the elbow or the fist, but he seems to have cut Burkholder, and I wasn't sure where.
Yeah, it was definitely impacting with those elbows. Be curious to see what kind of damage he did. I really liked that adjustment to that crucifix position and then the far side elbows.
Well, in about 5 minutes, we're going to raise someone's hand and announce them as the flyweight champion. Will it be the defending champion, Jordan Burkholder, or Omaro Gutierrez collect a second championship for the championship shelf?
Both these fighters staring each other down. You can tell they're ready to send it.
And here we go. Gutierrez trying to fire in some shots there. Found one there.
This is what I want to see more of from Gutierrez. And moving the feet. He's got to move the feet. He's planting well. He's throwing well. Let's throw. Let's move. Let's throw. Let's move. Right back to the cage.
And you know this is exactly what Burkholder's thinking is Gutierrez came out throwing, that Burkholder's going to want to take this to the ground and keep it there. That's the script. That's what's been successful. That's what earned him this championship in the first place. Gutierrez, I think, might have cut his hand or his finger on one of those punches just there. Burkholder here on top here, trying to deliver a heavy knee into the hamstring.
Burkholder trying to work his hips over to a cross side control. Trapped in that half guard right now, but looking to continue.
We wonder if one of these athletes will have a sudden adrenaline rush here as they empty the tank in the final 3:45.
Absolutely, with both fighters just doing all they can in these down positions here, 3.5 minutes. You end with anything left in that tank, you'll regret it.
An exhausting 20+ minutes already for Gutierrez and Burkholder. Only 3.5 to go. Sneaking in some shots there as Gutierrez trying to wiggle his way away from the cage. Gutierrez's corner calling for an elbow as they see an opening here as Burkholder pretty low on that positioning.
Yeah, Gutierrez doing a good job with that foot on the hip, trying to create some distance. He's back to guard now, but look for him to continue to try to create that distance. Ooh, back to the armbar.
Difficult angle to really lock that armbar in. Oh, he's starting to crank it. There he goes!
Wow! When Burkholder turned away, he inadvertently sunk into that far side armbar. which is tremendously difficult to get out of. Excellent adjustment by Gutierrez to sink him right into that. Well done.
What a quick finish. Blinken, you missed it out of nowhere. Mauro Gutierrez, foreshadowed earlier in the night, finishes with the armbar.
The earlier armbar attempt was a near side armbar, and so you have a little bit more mobility there. You can turn your thumb away and start to get away. This one was the far side armbar, and it traps the arm between your hips and their chest, and it's extremely difficult to get out of. So once he had it sunk in, it's game over at that point. Really, really excellent jiu-jitsu by Gutierrez there in the end.
The new flyweight champion here at Front Street Fights, Mauro Gutierrez. Congratulations, as we'll see the end here. It was just one move by the arm on Burkholder, and we had a tough angle in there, but Burkholder forced to submit there, forced to tap out. Locked in deep.
Absolutely, an amazing job. You can even see it like towards the end. Gutierrez staying active the entire time, peppering him shot after shot, just making sure he's staying active even when pinned to the cage, making sure he's racking up those points, but didn't even matter in the end. The arm bars would send him all the way through.
Old reliable armbar. What a finish there for Mauro Gutierrez, the flyweight champion. He'll add it to the collection as he won the championship at Fierce FC. At Fierce FC 47, a TKO not too long ago. The drive back to Logan, Utah will feel great as a double champ.
Absolutely.
And Gutierrez, I mean, he fought the entire matchup. He was not in a favorable position for a healthy chunk of it. But the willpower, sticking with it, the conditioning.
Absolutely, not letting it get to him that he kept getting stuck on the cage. You could visually see how annoyed he was getting, that he just kept getting stuck in the same spot. Didn't let it get to him, stayed calm, stayed focused, and just kept moving to where he wanted to be.
I think he definitely saw something too, because that was the second time that we had seen the armbar. Almost went the distance the first time.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by submission at 2 minutes, 15 seconds of round number 5, in the blue corner, and new Front Street Fight flyweight champion, Mauro Gutierrez.
Mauro Gutierrez, new flyweight champion here at Front Street Fights. How does that sound?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank God, my Lord and Savior. And I have one verse to say. Every time I win, I'm going to share God's word. So we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but the principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness. The devil comes here to steal, kill, and destroy, and take our happiness, but we're not going to let him do that. We're stronger than that. God is our Savior.
How has your experience here in Boise been, and especially here with us at Front Street Fights?
It's been fun. You guys treat us well, very professional. I enjoy being here, and I'm glad I'm back. It's been a year. I'm glad to be back.
Walk us through your thoughts for the fight. What did you notice there? You had the near side armbar in the early rounds. You switched to the far side there at the end. What did you notice there to make that adjustment?
Like my coach said, I let go of it. I guess I was thinking jiu-jitsu, but I have to break it. Like they say, kill or be killed.
Who do you want to thank and shout out for this excellent performance here tonight?
First and foremost, my Lord and Savior, my wife, my kids, my teammates, and my coaches, Blacksite, Battleground, and JQ Jiu-Jitsu. Thank you for having my back.
We look forward to you defending that title. Give it up for your new champ, flyweight champion, Mauro Gutierrez.
Well, a great night for Mauro Gutierrez and his family here cage side. Pretty cool, too, to have MMA and UFC legend Miesha Tate hand you the championship. As a picture that'll go on the wall for years, centered right here in Boise, Idaho. Again, congratulations to Mauro Gutierrez, the new flyweight champion here of Front Street Fights. I know that We've got a little bit more for you in terms of a recap coming up. We will take a real quick break, and we will have your post-game report coming up, as well as an interview with Vida Arteaga.
This is my natural high. Training is how I get my adrenaline. Running is how I get my dopamine. I am a competitor. And this is my natural high.
Need support quitting your vape? Visit projectfilter.org for help.
Welcome to Twin Peaks.
Boise's most scenic place to catch every touchdown, home run, knockout, and slam dunk. Score big when you combine HD views made from scratch food and our teeth-chattering 29-degree draft beer. So what are you waiting for? Get your axe into Twin Peaks.
80 years. That's a lot of stories. Stories of first steps and first checkups. Of an Idaho invention that opened up new terrain. Of fishtails and dad jokes. Of frozen potatoes. As Idaho's first health insurer, Blue Cross of Idaho was there for you then. We're here for you now, and we'll be there for every story to come.
Woof! That's another one. How have you hit every green light?
Well, I just started banking with ICCU.
ICCU?
Yeah, it's the kind of banking only a credit union can provide. It's high-tech and personal all at the same time. I get notifications for deposits, fraud alerts, rewards on my everyday purchases.
It's red, 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 red!
It'll turn. I even got a great rate on this new car.
And that magically turns all the lights green for you?
You tell me.
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
Well, thanks for joining us here for Front Street Fights 36. A memorable evening alongside Cameron Moore and Justin Jensen. I'm Joe Paris. Cameron, any parting thoughts? I mean, as we look down the cards, that was a great night.
Yeah, another Front Street Fight delivers. I mean, these matchups are incredible. We got everything from highlight knockouts to last-minute submissions and great fights in between. Tremendous night of fights.
Justin, what was on your radar?
Honestly, just mirroring the exact same thing. Absolutely loved the striking that showed out tonight. The wrestling at the end, fantastic. Great spread of everything.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know Vida Arteaga is standing by. Vida, you ready? All right, Vida, come on over. Justin's going to hand off the headset. We'll hand it over down the line here as we got a full broadcast crew. Oh, I guess you'll have to come on this side. That's all right. Thank you, production team, for covering my lack of planning on that exchange. And you know what? I appreciate the production team giving me the apple box to stand on all night. So, Vida, I get to be really tall tonight. All right, as we say hi to Dominic Stoff, a great win for Dominic here tonight. Congratulations. Vida, what sticks out to you? I mean, as we go down this card, you've done it again.
Thank
what
you.
A great night.
Thank you. Thanks for the compliment, and I'm, very thankful for my team to help me put this together.
I can't speak for you. My moment of the night was the Raymond Lawley knockout. What sticks out to you?
All of the fights, there was something to highlight. The main event stood out to me because nobody knows what it feels like to go those extra 2 rounds, and so a lot of credit to those guys.
I mean, you had a great view from where you were sitting next to Miesha Tate. Shout out, Miesha. Thanks for being a part of the event here tonight. I mean, for Mauro, he was in a tough position for a lot of that matchup, finding almost an impossible way to secure that armbar.
Right, and he was in his corner, so I think that kind of favorites, the athlete as well.
Well, I know fans always want to know what's next as we put the cap here on Front Street Fights 36. Vida, what do we have to look forward to as we look forward to 37?
Well, we have one more card before the year is over, so you guys can expect that one probably November or December.
Okay. Well, Vida, any shout-outs to the crew? I know we had a great crowd here tonight. How about the explosion after Raymond Lawley's knockout? I mean, that's about as loud as I've ever heard it here in the arena.
Yeah, I heard it too. He had a lot of support, and so I'm thankful when all of the families can come out and support.
We love that. Cameron, any final thoughts?
Another tremendous event. I mean, when you think the last one's going to go the distance, we get a far side armbar to finish the night. Couldn't have ended it any better.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us here for Front Street Fights 36, a memorable night inside the Idaho Central Arena. We'll leave you with some of the sights and sounds for a great night. Thank you so much to our unbelievable crew here inside the arena, on the production crew, the TV crew, the arena staff, of course, Vita and her team that makes this all possible. We appreciate you, the fans at home and here in the arena. For now, we'll say goodnight from Idaho's capital city. A new champion in Mauro Gutierrez for Front Street Fights.